Hey mates, it's Matt here in the year 2025. Just to let you know that I'm going to be in Perth this weekend, the 2nd and 3rd of May 2025, doing my show Bad Boy at the Perth Comedy Festival. And also our little mate Dave Warnicky is coming to Sydney with his show Dave Warnicky Dates the Entire Audience. That's him and Sammy P. And, well, actually, I'm in Perth with Sammy P. There's a real Sammy P link there between. So if you want to see us and Sammy P, I'm in Perth, Dave's in Sydney, and there's a bunch of other things that we'll announce soon. So sign up to the mailing list and, yeah, stay up to date. Cheers.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform designed to help you stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or scaling your business, Squarespace gives you everything you need to claim your domain, showcase your offerings with a professional website, grow your brand, and get paid all in one place.
Love that. Now let's talk services, because Squarespace gives you everything you need to offer services and get paid all in one place.
Yeah, that's so good.
Don't leave that place. Stay there.
Oh, Dave, little suggestion. Let's do this ad read without any sort of fumbles or anything. Let's just nail it.
Copy that.
Okay, I'm not editing this. This is going out live, basically.
Here we go. So from consultations to events and experiences, showcase your offerings with a customizable website design to attract clients and grow your business. You get paid on time with professional on-brand invoices.
That was on purpose, wasn't
But they
it?
are on board. You know, you're on board.
I'm on board with them.
Yeah, I'm on board. And you get online payments. Plus, streamline your workflow with built-in appointments, scheduling, depending on how you say that, and email marketing tools.
Hey, and with Squarespace's collection of cutting-edge design tools, anyone can build a bespoke online presence that perfectly fits their brand or business. Start with Blueprint AI, Squarespace's AI-enhanced website builder, to get a fully custom website in just a few steps, using basic information about your industry, goals, and personality to generate premium quality content and personalized design recommendations. Squarespace also offers a complete library of professionally designed and award-winning website templates.
Love that. It's easy and intuitive. No experience is required, and you can head to squarespace.com/do-go-on for a free trial and to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/do-go-on.
Let's do it, Dave. Is it time?
Yeah.
I reckon it's time for us to re-zhuzh up our website.
On 3. Let's do it. Hello and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnicky, and as always, I'm here with Jess Perkins and Matt Stewart.
Hi.
Hello. It's so good to be with you this evening.
And also with you.
With you, and any questions that come to mind.
How are you?
How have you been? Just checking in.
Pretty good, actually.
Good.
Thank
Good to
you,
hear.
yeah.
You're looking well.
Thank you. I've been working on my look.
I can see that.
Thank you.
This is what will happen when Do Go On ends and then we see each other after like 4 years.
And
it's,
you?
Yeah. It's just very...
And you? And how are you?
Well, it's nice to see you and you are looking well.
Yes. How are your parents?
Dead.
That's how far into the future it'll be.
Yeah.
Like 50 years.
Yeah.
Because my parents are going to live forever.
For 49 years.
Well, at least for 49.
Now, Matt, what are we here to do? How would you explain this show if you had to?
I would love to explain, just in case there are new listeners, and I'm sure based on whatever topic Dave's chosen.
Wonderful topic.
Yeah, wonderful topic. I couldn't...
You nearly said bullshit.
Yeah.
I could say
I was going to say dog shit, but...
Yeah. There's definitely going to be shit in it.
But whatever the topic is, I reckon it's going to bring in a few new listeners. And for those new listeners, the show works thusly. One of the three of us selects a topic, often with the help of the listenership, being suggested by a listener, and then we take it away, we learn about it, We read up, we watch a few docos, that sort of stuff. We bring back what we've learnt in the form of like a high school report, somewhere between year 9 and year 11, usually, I would say, that sort of quality. And then we report back to the other two. In this case, it's Dave, and Jess and I will be listening. But just fair warning, we will do a bunch of dog shit riffs and get distracted a bit. But Dave will always bring us back on the topic. And we get on a topic with a question. Dave, do you have a question this week?
Here we go. Yes, I do. And it's a bit tangential, but you'll have an answer. What is Where's Wally called in North America?
I think I
Matt
got in
got there
there by
first.
like 3 weeks.
But what did you say?
Where's Waldo?
You are correct. And Jess, what did you say?
Where's Waldy?
So close.
Fuck.
It is Where's Waldo. We're actually not talking about Where's Wally or Where's Waldo. We are talking about Ferdinand Waldo Demara Jr. However, people would be more likely to ask, who's Waldo with this guy?
Oh my gosh.
Keep it a little bit vague.
Not me. I'm asking, how's Waldo?
You care.
Just
Yeah.
checking in, Waldo.
Yeah.
I'm an empath.
Yeah.
Sorry about
I'll have to check in. At the end, I'll ask you, how do you reckon
How's
Waldo
travels,
is?
Waldo?
that. Waldo, baby.
This topic has been voted for by our fantastic Patreon supporters at patreon.com/dogoonpod, and it's been suggested by a bunch of people. Anyone can suggest a topic at any time. There's a link in the show notes, and people clicked on that link and suggested this topic, and they include Aaron Basso from Portland, Oregon, Tim Vandenwright from Ramsdonk, Belgium.
Oh my god.
Stop it.
Wee.
I love
Ramsdonk.
Ramsdonk.
That rules.
God, is this a real place? Oh my gosh, it is.
That's like, cause that's a brand of car. Ram. The Ramsdonk, the engine.
Oh, the Ramsdonk.
That's nice.
Yeah. And that's, I guess, where they make the Ramsdonks.
I never put two and two together, but here we are.
Oh, you are. There you go.
Also suggested by Soph Waldron from here in Melbourne and Sev from Maryland in the United States.
I don't know how Soph would be suggesting anything with all her broken limbs. Must have been riding with her
Her
teeth.
toes.
Toes.
I will say maybe this is in 2019.
Oh,
I'm not sure,
pre-accidents.
Soph, do you even remember that you suggested this? It's been suggested, yeah. One of the suggestions was 2018, so it's been in the hat for quite a while.
Wow.
Oh, so this is ancient history.
Yeah.
This story is from at least 2018 or before.
Makes you think.
I didn't know we talked about things that old.
I don't.
I was able to
I
find
don't talk to things that old.
Oh.
This is my 3-year-old. That's me, not talking to that
Jess was
3-year-old.
just showing us her 3-year-old. This is my 3-year-old. She pulled him out of her pocket.
Very
finally
relevant.
introduced.
Tongues will be wagging.
So let's start the topic. In 1952, Life magazine ran a story by Joe McCarthy that opened with this paragraph. Ferdinand Waldo Demara Jr. is a bright and lively young man who usually seems to enjoy life. He has a crew haircut and the build of a lineman on a professional football team.
Oh, okay.
And he knows...
I wouldn't have known what a lineman is.
Well, I was like a stick man, like he's really thin.
A line man?
A man made of lines?
a man who makes lines?
Yes.
An artist?
Yes.
I didn't know artists had a particular
Architect?
body type.
But there you go. No, on a football field.
Football, thank
So
you.
an artist on a football field.
a professional footballer.
Professional. There's none of this amateur bullshit.
So he's a big man, and he knows how to make a bored and indifferent hat check girl crumple with laughter.
Can you explain what that means, Jess? Because that sounded like gibberish to
A
me.
board,
Yes.
so BOARD,
Okay.
like a board game or something.
Uh-huh.
And a hat check girl.
Hat check girl.
So back in the 50s,
Yeah.
lice was rampant.
Okay.
And everyone wore hats.
Uh-huh.
So there was a hat check girl,
Right.
sort of like parking inspectors,
Yeah.
ticket inspectors, that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
She'd check your hat for lice.
Right. And if you had it, you get a fine.
Yep.
Wow. But he could make and they were famously
Very stern.
Stern.
Well, they took lice very seriously.
Yeah.
And life very
Yeah,
seriously.
yeah.
And
They
yeah,
would often say choose lice.
they would say that.
And
They were pro-lice.
they were pro lice, which is interesting.
A weird
Yeah.
industry to get into, but...
So
I
is
think
that
I've
about right,
explained
Dave?
that pretty well. So, Dave, please continue.
Very, very close. It's also known as like someone working in coat check. So he can just make someone... and the sentence is, indifferent hat check girl crumple with laughter.
Sorry. Coat check. Back in the 50s, full body lice was rampant.
Oh, okay.
And so there was a girl at the front of every nightclub, restaurant, bar, country club who would check your coat for lice.
And bored? Hat check girl sounds so close to previous topic. Hat check.
Yeah. we both nailed it. We both said different things.
Because I just, anyway, one of the great topics.
One of the great topics that we've done.
Jeff wasn't on that episode.
I don't think you get to say that about your own topic.
Topic? I didn't say it was well told.
It's a great topic.
Yeah, Matt-
I did a dog shit job.
Bush-
I'm just reminding listeners now that we're doing our third episode on a white man that we did do a woman once.
We did a woman once.
Hey? And unlike Bill Clinton, I'm not denying that fact.
Hey,
Bill Clinton was last week.
I've actually named...
In a lot of ways, your report last week was about a man and a woman.
Remember when I said like him
Edit all that out,
having,
AJ,
having
please.
that coffee would be a bad idea?
Yeah, it's a bad idea because I'm
Yeah.
trying to do this opening paragraph here to set up the whole story and it's really not going very well.
AJ, can you edit all of that out?
Also, I take offense. I have already mentioned a hat check girl, so thank you. This is what it says. But Demara found little joy in the recent holiday season. He spent Christmas and New Year's Day with his father and mother at their home on State Street, Lawrence, Massachusetts. It's really giving away his address
No,
there.
I hate when they used to do that.
And he tried to keep his presence there a secret. Now Life magazine has just published.
Doxed him.
He seldom talked. He paced the floor nervously. On the rare occasions when he left the house for a few hours, he ran from the door to his father's car with his coat collar turned up and his hat pulled down to his eyes, hoping that he would not be seen by the neighbours.
Is he like running to the car?
Ow!
Can't see where you're going. Be careful. You
This is
roll an
like-
ankle that way.
He doesn't want to be found. This is Where's Waldo.
He does not want to be found. But why was he acting this way? Well,
And why is he wearing this red and white hooped shirt? Stands out, mate.
let's find out. Let's flash back to when he was born.
Okay.
Also, in Lawrence, Massachusetts, Ferdinand Waldo Demara Jr. was born in Lawrence, Massachusetts in 1921 to a Roman Catholic family. Known locally and throughout his life as Fred, not Ferdinand, Demara's father, Ferdinand Waldo Demara Sr., was a motion picture projectionist. And when his son was born, the family were very well off.
Okay.
Demara Sr.'s brother, Napoleon.
Oh my God.
So Ferdinand and Napoleon.
Jesus Christ.
Bloody hell.
Strong set of names, owned a bunch of theatres in the area. However, when the Great Depression struck, like so many, Demara's father became financially insolvent, forcing the family to move from an affluent area to a much poorer part of the city. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Jess has got a really good imagination.
Yeah, I've got a great imagination.
She can imagine that, like...
That's not what
like
I
that.
did. I moved to an affluent area
Yeah, you did the opposite.
where I rent a small apartment in an affluent area, but
Yeah.
I
Do
can
you
imagine.
see, like, it's so funny around election time, and, like... I imagine for you it would be, like, seeing who your possible members could be.
Yeah.
And they all speak like, hello.
As do
Vote for me.
as do my fellow voters.
Yeah.
So lining up and they've got their
yes.
tiny little fat, fluffy dog and their pearls on. I'm like, I don't know if I belong
It's
here.
not a sausage sizzle, it's more of a sit-down steak.
Yeah, it's a steak sizzle. I might just, darling, should we get a steak tartare while we're here?
And should we visit Laurent on the way home?
Is that one of their friends?
Yeah.
Yes. Very wealthy man, Laurent. Drives a Rolls Royce.
I can't get the song out of my head. Tori Amos's Cornflake Girl, only it's hat check girl. This is not really happening. Anyway, just so you know what's going on up in my
Oh,
head.
thank you for keeping us updated. Dave, what's going on maybe on your computer?
Life it is.
By this time, by this time when his family were losing their money,
Girl.
Demara, just please stop drinking that coffee.
I'd move over to water or something if I were you.
This coffee's mainly water. It's a long black.
So he's about 14 years old when the family lose their fortune. He was big for his age. He was part of the school's football team. A lineman. Would you believe?
So he wasn't only built like a lineman, he
was.
Why didn't he just say that?
They're patty for word count.
Yeah.
I found a copy of a digital copy of the Life magazine, and you think we have a lot of ads now in society. It was like 98% ads.
Right.
It was a bit like you'd read the article, continued on page 88, and I'm on page 84, and between then and there, it's just ads.
Right.
So you just have to keep going.
Who's reading those ads when the page is all ad?
Yeah.
That's to be a pretty good photo
People-
to draw you in.
So he's on the football team. However, he never made the coveted starting lineup because he refused to take Coach Jim Jordan's instructions seriously. Demara hated authority figures and being told what to do.
Right.
Doesn't like playing by the rules.
Yeah, which is pretty important for sports.
Yes.
The referees.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, he's like, I'm a big guy, I just push people over.
You can't do that. You got to wait till we start the game. You just go around.
Just punching the opponent. Time magazine writes that Demara did poorly in school, but he memorized all kinds of scientific treatises at home. He was clever, like really clever, some saying he was a genius.
What are treatises?
That's why we know Matt's not a genius.
If you have to ask.
I'm asking for the listeners who
Doesn't
might
even
not
know what a tree ties is.
Come on,
I mean,
mate.
I know it's a bow tie for a tree, but I just wanted to hear in more detail. Dave, what does that mean?
It's a really nice bow tie for a tree. Often rare.
What is it, like a chart or something? What is it?
No, it's like an article or someone writing about a topic.
Oh, did you just say it weird? Article.
So he's a really smart guy. He was a voracious reader with an incredible memory, but he just didn't like applying himself in the traditional sense.
Hey, that's
Especially
okay.
at school.
Not all of us do.
No, and that's fine.
That's fine. Some of us don't really give a shit and coast through life, okay?
Yeah, and some of us do that as a defense mechanism. So if it never seems like we try, then never seems like we fail.
Never failed.
Yeah.
So I didn't even care. I didn't even try.
Yeah.
They might say.
It's like that.
And some of us are trying really, really hard, but still we're just treading water.
Some are trying really, really hard and doing the same job as people not really trying.
That's embarrassing. What a realisation.
Well, some of us look better doing it.
He grew up a devout Catholic, and with school not being for him at the age of 16, he ran away from home and joined
The circus.
the Cistercian monks,
Oh, that's close. That's like the monks' version of a circus.
which is an order of meditative farm workers.
What?
That feels like an odd choice
I
for
don't have
him.
a lot of follow-up for you. Because he's devout,
Yeah.
but then he's like, all right, I'm going to be a monk now. And I guess that's the ones that lived close to him.
Right.
It didn't work out either because after a year, the abbot of the monastery told him he was better suited to a life of teaching
Because he was a bit chatty.
rather than a life of contemplation. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Wow.
talking too much. Sit there and think about your thoughts. Don't tell us your thoughts.
There's one main rule here and you're breaking it. Why don't follow
I'm
rules?
taking a vow of silence. Shut up. So he transferred to another monastery, the Brothers of Charity. But he left them in 1941 to join the army.
It's a real, that's a change.
Is this guy millennial or something?
You pick one job and you stick to it.
Count how many jobs this guy has. He soon went AWOL, and without telling the army, he joined the Navy.
Okay, we're on to job number
Yeah,
3.
I want to do more of a wet army.
Yeah, I've been wet. And this is soon after the Pearl Harbor attack, which is also 1941. So it's a big year for him. In the same year, he's gone from monastery to monastery, monastery to army, army to Navy.
Right. Yeah. And he obviously knew that there was a chance America, that's a Freudian slip, America was going to be drawn into the war at that point, right? So it's not like he was doing it without knowing active
what was going
service
on.
was
Yeah,
very possible.
It's probably on the cards. He hadn't been to college but fancied that he'd like to be an officer. So he faked a transcript from Iowa College and for good measure, threw in a fake letter from a local senator that attested to his good character.
What a time to be alive when you can just, now it's Googleable. You can find out, hey, did this guy you could just send an email. Did he actually go to your school? Just double check in. Back then you're like, well, I guess so. I got to wait 3 weeks to find out.
So he's like, Woodrow Wilson says I'm a really good guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the problem was he hadn't given himself enough of a background in mathematics to become an officer, so he was rejected from officer candidate
From his
school.
fake.
I know, you could have written anything on there and he didn't put maths on. So he hastily faked another transcript with more mathematics on it. But he was quickly found out. So what would anyone do in this situation? Yes, he faked his own death to get out of the Navy.
Yes.
I thought they were going to be like, hey, but we like your moxie. Like in an old movie.
He decided that next, rather than fake his own identity and sort of make himself look better, why not steal an existing one?
Oh, that's
Clever.
better. Yeah.
Someone who's already doing better than you could just slip into their shoes.
Yeah, because then, when people go to verify things, it's real and it's
Yeah.
there.
Exactly.
It's like even his shoes.
His shoes are
I
there.
hope he picks someone with the same size feet.
Let's show someone 4 sizes too small.
Oh,
He chooses an 8-year-old kid. He's like, fuck,
I want to be that kid.
I can't fit any of those clothes.
Growth spurt. I had a growth spurt. I had a growth spurt.
Goo goo gaga, or whatever 8-year-olds say.
What
I
do
don't
they say? I
know.
don't know. I haven't done my research. I haven't been 8 in ages. He came across an academic named Robert Linton French in the catalogue of a college.
I can't believe the names today. Like, everyone has got triple barrel minimum.
Yeah.
And each one of those names is wild. What's going on, Dave? Have you forgotten to write a report and you're making stuff up on the spot?
Top of my dome. I've just come up with Robert Linton French. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, Dave, you flew a little too close to the sun there, mate.
I took the piss.
Yeah.
Took the piss with Robert Linton French, who had a PhD in psychology from Stanford University. He'd done a fellowship at Yale. Academically, a very impressive guy. Basically, not what Ferdinand Demara was on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He's a smart guy, but he's got none of the proof that he's a smart guy. So he's like, I'll pretend to be this man.
But it's such a memorable name as well. Pick John Smith.
Yeah.
And then there's heaps of them.
Yeah.
So you can say,
I must have
when
been thinking
people
of a different John Smith.
Yeah, no, this is a different one.
Oh, no, I must be thinking of another Robert
Linton
French.
There's loads of us out there.
There's heaps of us.
Yeah.
We're in a Facebook group.
There's only one guy I posted in there. It's really weird. His name's Robert Linton French.
Honestly, I hate that guy.
He actually gives us a bad name because our name's good, but he makes it bad.
He's bad.
Yeah.
You've probably heard of him.
It's Robert Linton French. Shit.
So posing as Robert Linton French, Demara studied at DePaul University.
That's the Paul in French.
At DePaul University, sorry. For his own study, he received straight A's. So
Okay.
if he was able to get into a course,
It's of Paul, isn't
he's
it?
very good.
Doesn't matter.
He then taught at a few different universities across America,
Sure.
posing as French from 1942 to 1945.
Wow.
So 3 years, and every time someone would get like a little too close to the scent, he'd just go to another university. He said, in this little game that I was playing, there always comes a time when you find yourself getting in too deep. You've made good friends who believe in you, and you don't want them to get hurt and disillusioned. You begin to worry what they'll think if somebody exposes you as a phony.
Yeah, imagine if you'd done a podcast for 10 years under a fake name.
Oh, no.
But you pick a pretty dull name,
You
wouldn't
pick
you?
a
If you're smart.
really dull name, and then your co-hosts get comfy, they get close to you, they invite you to their weddings and stuff. And
Yeah, they start thinking, yeah, she's obviously real.
Yeah,
Or he. I'm not pointing any
they're
fingers.
a real friend of mine.
Yeah.
Real?
Yeah, and maybe they're like, we know that's not who she really is, but if she's pretending to be my friend, I'm not going to be the one uncovering it.
That'll hurt my feelings.
Yeah, that'll cut my top 8 friendship list on MySpace down to none.
It'll be the-
Tom's still there.
Love you, Tom.
Down to 1.
He's always there. It'd be the weirdest witness protection program. Just posing as a podcast.
Yeah.
And then accidentally gets somewhat
Gets quite
popular. You're like, oh, no.
fuck.
Did you notice the subtle little thing Dave just told us there? He's telling this story of, and I love these stories where people do crimes, but if they wait long enough, it's this, oh, these funny, can you believe it?
Yeah.
I committed fraud over and over.
What a kook.
Well, let me tell you all
Yeah.
about it. And people are just like, oh, we'd love to hear you tell us about all these crimes. Fun crimes.
Fun crimes.
Just
So far, victimless.
yes.
So
far.
So far.
I imagine it'll all be that way.
I don't.
Because of his masquerading, he would often just disappear when the heat got too much and he was going to be found out.
He's more of a winter baby.
Yes.
Following that endless winter.
He always had a reserve of emergency money, a flight fund to get out quickly if he needed, that he referred to as his mad money.
Mad money.
Oh.
Okay.
What is that short? Is that like a
Yeah,
not an analogy, an anagram?
there's an anagram. Let me,
Yeah, what does it stand for?
do you want me to put this into an anagram solver or solve for
Not
you?
an anagram. What am I saying?
No, anagram.
Not initialism, the other one.
Mad money is an anagram of, this is, I'm sure this is what you're thinking, Matt. Money mad.
Did you type that in a
Thanks
Lisa
a lot
Simpsons
to-
one?
Thank you to anagramsolver.net for that. Mad money is an anagram of money mad.
Stop making fun of me. What's the word I mean?
Not making fun.
An analogy. What are you saying?
No, not initialism.
The other one. The one with
Acronym.
acronym.
Oh, sorry, yes.
What does it stand for,
It
Dave?
stands for
Make a dash.
Make a dash.
Make a dash money.
Make a dash. Money mad. Oh, no. ES.
What?
That's what it stands for.
What?
Thank you once again.
I'm so confused. Well, I understood what you did. What's he talking about?
You did this.
I know. AJ, clean it up.
Money mad is what it's an anagram.
But so mad money.
Do you not understand?
No.
So he would mad money, like things go a little mad, a little crazy
okay.
money. He goes, I'm gonna get
If
out
things
of this.
get mad, okay. I'm like, I couldn't understand that, but now I.
But like in the context that David said it, it was money to flee.
Yeah.
And he called it mad money. And
Yeah,
you're like, but what is mad money? We
that's
told
what-
you.
I was wondering if mad stood for something.
No, it's just what he called it.
Yep,
But make a dash, I thought. I'd believe that.
that's actually really clever.
Dave kept
Make a
talking for
dash
ages after
money. Yes,
He
I feel.
could have ended
I
that
feel like
way
I've been
earlier.
talking a lot.
that. All right.
So he would then turn up in a different state and continue posing as Dr. French. From the article in Life Now, when asked if he had any qualms about teaching a subject to college students that he didn't know anything about, Demara blandly registers mild surprise. Why, he asks. I just kept ahead of the class. The best way to learn something is to teach it.
That's so true.
That is actually really true.
And everywhere Demara went, he was welcomed and well-liked and made influential friends. Sheriff Frank Tamplin of Thurston County in Washington State made Demara, when posing as French, a special deputy so he could enforce the law around the college campus.
Frank Tamblin's so good.
Yeah,
So many
Sheriff
good names.
Frank Tamplin. He basically said to him, you're a straight shooter. I like you. You're honest. You're hardworking.
You're
and I
honest,
need
number
someone
one.
like you to keep the law around here. Because there's people out there masquerading.
Yeah.
I don't want you to
There's
stay on top
lies,
of it.
there's cheats.
Yeah, that's
There's
right.
fraudsters.
But I see you for who you are.
Yeah.
You're a nice, honest gentleman, and I need people like you on my team.
You have my permission to use this gun and as much force as necessary to arrest rowdy students.
Yeah. If you're going to shoot it straight and true. The only way you know how. You're a straight shooter.
Straight shooter. Can I call you TB? True blue. That's what you are to me. Sadly for him, the law caught up with Demara. One day, the sheriff, who was also kind of his boss, called him into his office, and waiting for him were 2 FBI agents.
Whoa.
What does that stand for?
Female body inspector.
Hey, you know any females around here? No, they were from the Federal Bureau of Investigating Female Bodies.
Whoa. FBI.
FBI. They actually were there to arrest him for deserting the Navy.
Oh, wow.
So like,
That's what they got him
I don't
for.
think French was ever in the Navy, was he?
we know you faked your own death. You're coming with us. Demara attempted to represent himself in the subsequent hearing, but it was no use, and he was handed a 6-year prison sentence.
Oh, I reckon. Okay.
However,
I reckon he's going to serve that 6 years and change his ways.
due to good behaviour, he was paroled after 18 months. During this time, he was also dishonourably discharged from the army that he'd also disappeared from.
Okay.
But does that mean now he can just assume his own identity again?
Yeah, he can be himself now.
That's nice.
And that is not what he did.
Well, because the problem is that version of himself has a record now. He probably wants to go get someone recordless so he can go on being a doctor or whatever.
Get someone
Yeah.
clean skin. Doctor, you're so right, because after his release, he was soon back to his old ways, stealing the identity of highly qualified men. The next target, Dr. Cecil Boyce Harmon.
What the frick?
Dave, fuck you.
Dave,
Fuck
honestly.
you and fuck off.
What, if you're going to tell is this a real story? First question. Tell the truth.
Come on, you know me, I'm a straight shooter.
Okay.
They call me
thank God.
TB.
Okay, TB.
That wasn't an answer.
And, oh my God, that wasn't an answer.
Pretty well avoided, wasn't it?
But
What do you want for Christmas?
oh,
Change the subject.
okay.
Now that you ask, my Discman is on the fritz.
Oh, go on, I'll get you a new one. Shockproof.
What was that weird thing that Dave wanted at our Christmas episode? We did a
Dash
laugh.
cam. Still, I put this out there seriously every year. No one buys me a freaking dash cam.
His life is so sad, isn't it?
God, I love a dash cam.
What do you get the man
Just
who's
go
got everything?
get one. I don't think they're that
I
expensive.
think they're like $99 or something.
You can afford that. Go get a dash
Yeah,
cam.
but I
You
want
can
one-
afford that?
Yes.
Dave, you've been skimming off the top.
I've got dash cam money.
Wow. So, give us that name again, please.
Dr. Cecil Boyce Harmon.
Boyce. Dave, once again,
Dr.
I have
Cecil
to
Boyce.
say fuck you and fuck off.
Fuck you, Cecil
Why are you
Boyce.
making up names? I've never heard of
Cecil-
a Boyce before.
I've forgotten the second part.
You
Cecil
never heard of a
Boyce?
I went to school with a Boyce.
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 Boyce what?
Surname was Boyce.
No, what was this guy? Boyce?
Great guy too, this Zach Boyce. Dr. Cecil Boyce Harmon.
Harmon.
Boyce Harmon. That's insane.
Yeah.
All right, what's Cecil up to then?
He was a biologist and had a PhD in zoology and worked at Purdue University. Demara chose Harmon when he overheard a student praising him on a bus.
Oh, yeah.
That's
He's
all
like-
it takes.
So who are you talking about? Great. I'm going to be him.
Yeah, and he's going to be him. He doesn't kill him and take his identity. He just takes his identity to another state.
Yeah,
He doesn't
just to-
kill him, he just takes their skin
Yeah.
and wears it.
Do you need skin
If
to
they,
live?
well, he doesn't see if they die or not. You know, they could be still alive. So
Yeah,
can
I
you
don't
kill
know.
someone if you don't stick around to see if they survive?
Ah, good one.
I'm not
Great
sure.
question.
Schrodinger's victim.
if a man is skinned in the woods.
Yeah. The Pope, rest in peace. Shits in a bear. That's not quite it, is it?
Shit in the bed.
No wonder he...
If a pope shits at a bear,
Need I say more?
did I say more, baby?
Do you reckon the next Pope... I mean, there would be a new Pope probably already. Have you checked if they're sexually active yet?
I will be Googling that on day one.
Thank you.
I mean, if I was in the conclave, I'd be voting for the most sexually active.
Yeah.
amongst them.
All right. Who's got the biggest body count?
Let's go around. Come on. How many? Come on.
It really would just take having a body count of one. And they'd go, you're in.
You're in.
Yeah,
They'd
yeah.
just start high-fiving him.
Yeah.
Well, I
so,
don't know.
whoa,
There's-
tell us about it.
What was a lie?
That's awesome.
So he was able to get an academic transcript for Dr. Harmon. Something he shouldn't be able to get, obviously.
Yeah.
His tactic was to contact, this is whenever he wanted a transcript for someone, to contact the universities, first as what he described as a country bumpkin who needed a transcript for a job.
Right.
So sort of call them up and sort of act really naive, and they'd say, oh, sorry, we need more proof. And he'd go, oh, no worries. Then he'd write to them from a prospective employer requesting the transcript, writing the request,
So clever.
writing the request
Not
on
Dave reading this out. This is not clever at all. But
writing the request on formal and official looking paper that he'd stolen.
so clever.
They'd be expecting the request to come through, and they'd be like, oh, I guess that guy was telling the truth. Blah, blah from, Perkins and Stewart have contacted us just like they said they would.
That actually, Perkins and Stewart sounds really
I know,
good.
and he cut himself out of our business.
Yeah.
And I think that was smart.
I think
Perkins and Stewart's
That
great.
sounds like
Yeah.
our names.
Stewart and
Right, so-
Perkins?
yeah, that-
Stuart Perkins, maybe?
Stuart Perkins.
That's kind of cool.
Stuart Perkins and Associates.
Or Perkins
and the rest.
Stewart? Yeah, and the rest.
Happy to get a mention.
That's smart.
They just sent it off, no questions asked. He told Life that he could get anyone's transcript in 10 days.
Wow.
He was showing up. He was like, yeah, I could do it. He also found it paid to be audacious if he was asked to list a reference. He would use famous people's names, as he found most hirers were reluctant to bother important people on routine matters, and they didn't expect a fraud to use such an obvious name.
Right.
Like you put
Yeah,
down
right.
Barack Obama, and they go, well, you wouldn't lie about that. And I'm not going to
I'm not going
Bother
to
the
call Barack
ex-president.
Obama.
That's funny.
He's got Obama's seal of approval. Okay.
Yeah, you can check my references. Steve Jobs. Just there.
Call him at any time.
Give him a
Yeah.
buzz. He's free usually.
Yeah, last I heard.
Call him on his iPhone, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Bit of fun.
One of his.
One of his.
Well,
heard of it?
Well, yeah, I was involved too, but you don't expect Steve-O to tell you that.
Takes all the credit they
You
got.
know what he's like. Oh, you probably don't. You don't know him, but,
No, but
I
he's-
know what he's like. And
yeah.
he's a cat.
Actually-
He's the best man at my wedding.
I love him.
I introduced
I love
him.
you, Steve.
I introduced him to the turtlenecks. That was my look.
Honestly, he's got a disgusting neck. I said, cover that up,
Cover
mate.
that neck.
Hey,
Cover it
Dave,
up.
you know how I thought you accidentally revealed before that he was telling the story later? You did that right at the start, this Life magazine article that you're quoting the whole
Yes.
time. I think I just saw a clue here.
He's a lot.
I realised that. I'm like, oh no, this whole
Wait.
story was...
And the best thing is I think this guy's still alive. He was interviewed by Life magazine. Oh,
When was-
still alive. Okay.
When
Still
was this
alive.
magazine...
In the 50s.
This article was from the 50s.
Yeah, that's right. Just listening.
So he was 30 years old, roughly at the time. In his 30s.
And he's still alive.
He's still alive.
He's still a Life magazine.
The way he got Dr. Cecil Boyce Harmon's birth certificate is pretty wild. All he knew was that Harmon came from New York State. He wrote what he described as a sob story letter to the Vital Statistics Department in New York state capital of Albany. Posing as Dr. Harmon, he said he'd been abandoned by his parents as an infant and just wanted to know where he was born. He also gave his age, but no other proof of who he was. They wrote back that Harmon was born in Shelby in Orleans County in New York. So he next wrote to Shelby requesting Harmon's birth certificate, and they just sent it to him.
Incredible.
And now he's got a copy of the birth certificate. He's got his academic transcript. He can just pretend to be this guy. He studied law as Harmon at first, but had enough of that, so instead took up another teaching post at a Christian college, the Brothers of Christian Instruction in Maine, in the summer of 1950. He introduced himself as a physician with a myriad of other degrees. He's calling himself Dr. Harmon. And they were so stoked that a man of such regard wanted to teach at their college. They welcomed him with open arms. But to do so, he had to become Brother John and turn his back on his medical background.
BJ.
Which is not too difficult to turn his back on because he didn't have a medical background.
Yeah, it's hard to put down the scalpel, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, live by the scalpel, die by the scalpel.
But I guess if that's what the big fella upstairs wants.
That's right. I'm Brother John now. I'm BJ. I'm TB.
Please, call me BJ. True Blue BJ.
You want True Blue BJ?
Come to
I don't
me.
know what that means, but I'll do it.
Well, Vegemite's involved for sure.
Salty.
I actually don't have time to go through every con that he did because he was so prolific. Some others that I can't get into detail are he posed as a civil engineer, hospital orderly, a lawyer, a childcare expert, an editor, and even a cancer researcher.
He's just like, it's just reminding me of Frank Abagnale Jr., the Catch Me If You Can guy.
Very similar.
Just kind of cleverly conning his way into things.
And like addicted to it.
Totally. And like, I would not, I think both of them at some stages were, working, like Frank was working in a hospital at one point as a doctor. No, like you have to be so dumb but like arrogant to be like, yeah, I can pull that off.
But then they're also the kind of guys that when they're telling their own story, like how much of these things can we believe? Because they're such liars.
Yeah.
They can't help themselves. Like I remember vaguely, you told us about Frank Abagnale Jr.
Yeah.
And I think you were saying that like no one's really sure how much of it his exploits are actually true and how much he's embellished.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so blurry.
If you're just relying on, I suppose these days you'd find records at the hospital or CCTV or something. But yeah, you're right. Back then it's kind of just his word.
Totally. And I think we should take that perspective with this guy as well. Life magazine did claim that they tried to investigate all of his claims before they published it. And also a guy later wrote a biography on him and tried to and research it properly. But there is always that blurry bit of being like, can you trust this guy?
I was like, was it the 300th episode or whenever I talked about the unluckiest man of all time? He was the same, where it's like people are like, a lot of these stories, they're great stories and we're not really sure if we can.
Yeah.
And some are like, he's just flat out lying.
Yeah.
And others are like, we haven't been able to corroborate.
Interesting.
Was he Frank Selak or Frank Selak?
Yeah, Frank Selak. Good memory. I was about to say Abagnale Jr.
Abagnale Jr.
Runs in the family.
So Ferdinand Demara.
Wait, this guy also goes by Frank, right? No, Fred.
Fred.
Oh my God. I was about to realise, are all Franks full of shit?
Yep.
No, luckily this one was a Fred.
This is a Fred. And you can't trust them either.
Yeah, but it means not all Franks are piece of shit. And that's nice.
Frank Sinatra,
I know
we all
some
know
nice
stand-up
Franks.
guy.
I didn't want to have to cut those Franks out of my life.
Yeah.
Cocktail Franks.
I'm gonna delete this text to all the Franks in my phone.
To all Franks. All Franks.
Dear all Franks, we are not friends anymore. You cannot be trusted.
So he just went with the flow, trying new jobs here and there. He was even twice converted to Catholicism despite being born a Roman Catholic, just to go along with. Oh, gosh, I don't know anything about the church. Can you teach me? I'd love, and people love to take him under their wing and obviously share their faith with him, but that was just his way of getting in.
Right.
His biggest secret was his ability to learn quickly on the job, his incredible memory really paying off. He was also a fantastic liar, and his method, which I haven't come across this before, was trying to tell as little of the truth as possible.
Interesting.
Okay.
Usually people try and bury a lie in the truth.
Yeah.
He didn't do that. He said, I am a superior sort of liar. I don't tell any truth at all. So that when my story has a unity of parts, a structural integrity, and this way sounds more like the truth than the truth itself.
What?
Like,
I
That
don't
doesn't make
understand
sense.
any of that sentence.
It's all bullshit.
Even this is bullshit.
His motto was, as long as a lie seems like the truth, it works like the truth, and thus it becomes the
But you've
truth.
also got to remember it all.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to back there. He's living with these people. He's got to, they'll go, oh, how's your cousin Danny? Oh, yeah, he's great. Still at the cafe? Yeah. He's got a hat now. You said he didn't have a head. You know, that sort of thing.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
But remember, his memory, he's got a great memory. He would remember Denny's head.
That sort of thing. Yes. And that's how we get it.
We've got a master interrogator here. Honestly, I feel like you are the kind of you speak so much bullshit. Even like a pro, you would make them feel uneasy. Wait, what? I've forgotten what I'm talking about. And you're like, aha, gotcha. Oh, fuck! I don't know how to deal with this guy.
I'll say anything, just get out of this conversation. I did it all.
Yeah, please, just stop.
Oh, that's really funny.
His other maxim.
Seriously, those improv classes paid for themselves. Incredible
It was
stuff.
years ago. It's amazing that I can still. I think I did. It was like 8 years ago.
you just
and
turn it
it's
on.
still there.
It's amazing. Like a reflex for you. I guess it's like riding a bike. You never forget.
Never forget.
Do you remember the UK office when
No.
they're doing like customer like complaints? Like a guy comes in and teaches them how to treat their staff, and the guy says to Ricky Gervais, "I've got a complaint about your hotel," and he goes, "All right, what room are you in? 37." He goes, "Okay, what level are you on? Level 2." And he goes, "Huh, there is no level 2 here." Just like blocks him so bad, and then turns to the group and says, "Some complaints will be false." It's
That's
like
good
so
stuff.
funny. His other maxim was never win an argument, especially when he was working at a university with people who were actual experts in the field that he claimed to work in.
Yeah.
He thought it was easy enough to fool the students that he's supposed to teach, stay one lesson ahead, but much harder to bluff the experts. So he'd always defer to them. For example, according to the futility clause, which has a great article and podcast about this, if someone challenged him saying something like, why Descartes never made any such statement, he'd say, he didn't? Huh, well, what's your version, doctor? Then when the explanation came, he'd just look enraptured and say, I never really thought of it that way before. Would you mind very much if I took a few notes? The colleague would come away thinking of him as perceptive and open-minded, and Demara would just go about his business.
He never said that. It's so funny to get away with that. Like, oh, what's your perspective?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
Is that right?
Oh, maybe it's remembering.
Yeah.
I guess that's possible. I'm human after all.
Huh.
Certainly not a robot.
Descartes doesn't go for the pies. Huh. Okay.
Really?
Could have sworn I'd seen him in a
Yeah, in the
Collingwood
cheer
scar.
squad.
Can
Huh.
I just get my notepad? I'll write that down.
Do you mind?
Who do you go for? Oh, it was around before the AFL began. Huh.
Really?
There you go.
You don't say.
Fascinating.
What's your perspective on that?
But he would play up to the thing where people love talking about the thing that they know about and that love showing off that they know something that you don't. And
Yeah.
you just go, wow, you're so smart.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Play to their ego.
Yeah. I do that all the time.
Thank you. And he must have been very charismatic because people loved him even when they found out that everything he'd said about who he was had been a lie. They often defended him. When he was arrested in North Haven in Maine for posing as a high school teacher, a delegation from the community pleaded for him. He'd even served as a scout leader and the Sunday school superintendent during his time there. And the state police officer who arrested him said, this guy didn't just assume the names or the titles like most imposters. He lives the lives, he does the jobs. And the judge agreed, saying that despite the fraud, he was doing good in the community. He was given a suspended sentence for the charge of getting his teacher's certificate dishonestly.
I'm sorry.
He's a teacher. All of those things were involving kids.
Exactly.
And
This
they're
man
like, hey.
faked his identity and was a scout leader. No.
And a teacher.
And
Like,
a teacher,
all of those
and
jobs.
Sunday school. Yeah.
Sunday
Yeah.
school, yeah. I'm going, nah, I'd actually prefer him to not be near my kids alone.
Yeah. No, they're like, well, back then, I don't think they hadn't invented that kind of stuff yet.
Mm-hmm.
People like who did, I don't want to say the word. It starts with P, ends with edophile. I don't think that had that. I think as far as I'm aware, I don't think that existed yet.
Talking about Philip Edophile? Just name him.
Philip Massage edophile.
Philip
Oh, God. So he was fired, obviously, and he's given a suspended sentence. A fellow teacher said, I hope Demara can come back after all of what he's done, but use someone else's name and all the good he's done as well. It will certainly outweigh the bad. So I think he was just, like, genuinely a good teacher.
Yeah, people really liked him.
But he just, had used a false name and made up the fact that he was qualified. So obviously you can't do that.
So are they kind of going like, oh, he must have a reason for using the fake name. And I don't know what's going on in his life, but I'm sure it was a very good reason. And I'm sure he had a very good reason for pretending he was qualified to do this job we paid him to do. Like,
Plus, he's got dirt on me.
Yeah.
Because he's really good at, like, getting documents out of state organisations or whatever.
Or plus, he was really good at telling me that I was smart.
Yeah,
and that he loved listening to me.
I felt very
that
flattered
guy.
by him.
Yeah.
So I trust him.
Yeah. He was always taking notes about things I was saying.
It made me feel really valued.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform designed to help you stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or scaling your business, Squarespace gives you everything you need to claim your domain, showcase your offerings with a professional website, grow your brand, and get paid all in one place.
Love that. Now let's talk services, because Squarespace gives you everything you need to offer services and get paid all in one place.
Yeah, that's so good.
Don't leave that place. Stay there.
Oh, Dave, little suggestion. Let's do this ad read without any sort of fumbles or anything. Let's just nail it.
Copy that.
Okay, I'm not editing this. This is going out live, basically.
Here we go. So from consultations to events and experiences, showcase your offerings with a customizable website design to attract clients and grow your business. You get paid on time with professional on-brand invoices.
That was on purpose, wasn't
But they
it?
are on board. You're on board with them.
I'm on board with them.
Yeah, I'm on board. And you get online payments, plus streamline your workflow with built-in appointments, scheduling or scheduling, depending on how you say that, and email marketing tools.
Hey, and with Squarespace's collection of cutting-edge design tools, anyone can build a bespoke online presence that perfectly fits their brand or business. Start with Blueprint AI, Squarespace's AI-enhanced website builder, to get a fully custom website in just a few steps, using basic information about your industry, goals, and personality to generate premium quality content and personalized design recommendations. Squarespace also offers a complete library of professionally designed and award-winning website templates.
Love that. It's easy and intuitive. No experience is required, and you can head to squarespace.com/do-go-on for a free trial and to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/do-go-on.
Let's do it, Dave. Is it time?
Yeah.
I reckon it's time for us to re-zhuzh up our website.
On 3. Let's do it.
I can't tell you how often I hear, oh, I'm a little OCD. I like things neat. That's not OCD. I'm Howie Mandel, and I know this because I have OCD. Actual OCD causes relentless, unwanted thoughts. What if I did something terrible and forgot? What if I'm a bad person? Why am I thinking this terrible thing? It makes you question absolutely everything, and you'll do anything to feel better. OCD is debilitating, but it's also highly treatable with the right kind of therapy. Regular talk therapy doesn't cut it. OCD needs specialized therapy. That's why I want to tell you about NoCD. NoCD is the world's largest virtual therapy provider for OCD. Their licensed therapists provide specialized therapy virtually, and it's covered by insurance for over 155 million Americans. If you think you might be struggling with OCD, visit nocd.com to schedule a free 15-minute call and learn more. That's nocd.com.
It was during the time posing as Brother John of the Brothers of Christian Instruction that he crossed paths with a guy called Dr. Joseph Sire, a local GP who was called out to the college to treat Brother Boniface for rheumatoid arthritis.
Brother Boniface.
You
Boniface.
get to pick your brother name. What would you pick?
Not Boniface.
Bear.
Brother
Oh. Yeah, that's really good.
That's
Thank
actually
you.
really
What about
good.
sister? Brother-sister?
Brother-sister's fun.
That's nice.
Brother-mother?
Brother.
Brother-brother. Oh, yeah.
That's pretty fun.
Brother squared.
B2.
B2. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Dave?
Yeah. But I won't. You say it first.
to hear your perspective on it. You think what I'm thinking, V2? Yeah.
Go on.
Just want to hear you say it first. B1.
I'm always talking first. I'll defer to you, Doctor.
Dr. Banana.
So Dr. Joseph Sy was called out to treat Brother Boniface for arthritis.
Brother Banana.
Brother Banana.
That's my
I think we
final
found
answer.
it.
That's
Yeah.
my final
Lock it in.
answer.
Brother Banana 2. Junior. The third. Final answer.
Hearing that Brother John was formerly a physician named Dr. Cecil Boyce Harmon.
Boyce. How do you spell Boyce?
Boyce.
Right, Boyce.
Boyce.
Hey, just hanging out with the boys.
The boys.
Hey, Boyce will be Boyce.
So Dr. Joseph Sy heard that Brother John was formerly a physician named Dr. Harmon. So he asked Demara, posing as Harmon, for his opinion on what to do about the arthritis. Demara suggested that Dr. Sy use bee venom to treat the arthritis, having read about it in one of the many medical journals that he subscribed to. He was always constantly reading about medical stuff. It was very costly to get the bee venom, but it worked like a charm, and Dr. Sy was convinced that Demara, aka Dr. Harmon, aka Brother John, was a medical genius.
Whoa.
So the two hit it off, and when Dr. Sy told Demara that he wanted to get a medical license in Maine, Demara was like, I used to live there. I can help you get a medical license. He said he was about to travel that way, and he said, all you got to do is give me your medical papers, and I'll show them to the board for you.
Oh, my God.
Everything that says who you are, that proves who you are, just give that to me, and I'll take it to the medical board, and I'll present it for you, and I'll come back.
Easy peasy.
You'll be qualified.
No, you don't actually have to be there for it. They just have to see the papers.
Yeah, you'll see me again.
I'll vouch
Yeah,
for
weird
you.
question. Yeah, you'll definitely see me
Of course
again.
you will.
I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
What
I'll
an
be
insulting question.
back. That's really weird. I'll
We've
be
got
back.
lunch plans next weekend, mate. I wouldn't miss it
We're
for
going
the
to
world.
celebrate your new thing that I'm going to help you get.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
Can't wait.
Gonna bring balloons. Oh, I've spoiled the surprise already.
Oh, great.
See ya. So, of course, he didn't come back. The Christian college appointed another brother as head of the college, a position he'd been gunning for.
brother another.
Brother. Feeling overlooked and slighted, Demara left, and of course he used Dr. Sy's papers to assume his identity. He later contended he didn't steal the papers, they were given to him.
Different.
Yeah, that's
different.
true.
That is true.
I think if you take something under false pretenses, that's not stealing.
That's fine.
That's just
fine.
receiving.
Yeah.
I think it sounds like he probably said please. So I don't understand what he did wrong.
Why is the system built like this?
Tell me about it, brother.
Yeah. You know what I'm thinking, brother.
Of course I do, brother. You go first.
The system's fucked, brother.
Amen, brother.
So now he's Dr. Sy, and he presented himself to the Royal Canadian Navy applying for a job.
Dr. Sire sounds weird.
It's CYR, and of course there's no pronunciation. It could be Dr. Sear.
Yeah, right. I was picturing a horse, I'll be
Doctor-
honest. Dr. Horse.
Sire?
Sire, the name of a horse?
Yeah.
You sire a horse.
You sire a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you fucking have any respect for horses,
Yeah.
you sire them.
I sire. I sire every horse I ever see.
You didn't sire that horse. Go back and show it some respect.
You have no idea what sire is, so you're like trying to curtsy and looking back like, was that it?
Sort of like
Bowing.
touching their face a bit.
No? Okay.
Okay.
I knew, just joking. There's so many fast movies and they're like, yes, go on, do this. Like the person, it's not so obvious, but yes. Oh, that's great. And then somehow you stumble upon it.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the, I've never seen someone sire like that before. But
That's the most beautiful sire I've ever
oh,
seen.
well, that's how we sire in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Sorry, I didn't realize that Pennsylvanian siring.
Oh, I didn't realise. Do you mind if I take some notes?
Yeah.
So he went to the Royal Canadian Navy and said, I'm a doctor and I'd like to work for you. And he pressured them to take it or leave it, basically saying that if they didn't hire him on the spot, he'd go to the Canadian Army.
Yeah.
Desperate for medical personnel, they got through 10 weeks of paperwork and admission procedures in one afternoon. They were, please, we want you.
That sounds awful. That's a nightmare afternoon.
Yeah.
That's a lot of. I think they basically said, throw out the rule book, who cares, you're in.
I maxed out at 3 forms. And even then, I've got to take a break.
And you also, you know your own name. Like, you
True.
pretend to be
I'm
someone
not making
else.
stuff up.
They didn't even bother taking his fingerprints, and he soon found himself serving as a medical doctor in the Canadian Navy on a ship called the Cayuga, which sailed to Korea, and this is during the Korean War.
MASH era.
His first assignment on board.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
MASH. Now, is that an anagram?
Yes?
Sham,
I
right?
defer to you. Sham.
Appropriate.
Very appropriate. His first assignment on board the ship could have been his undoing. The captain, Captain James Plomer, the most decorated officer in the entire Canadian Navy,
Wow.
came to Demara, posing as Dr. Sire, and asked him to pull out his tooth.
Okay. That's a dentist job, not a doctor job.
Yeah.
This
A
is
nice try.
This is a test.
That's a trap for
nice try. Go
Nice
get the
try.
dentist.
Yeah.
Yes, we all agree it should be covered by Medicare. Well, but
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Dave's on his
Dave,
soapbox again.
come on, mate. Let's not get political.
Come on, mate. Oh, yeah.
You and your dental should be included because it's very
it's
important.
very important.
And it's weird that it's not.
It's
You're always
very
saying,
strange it's not included, and actually
Really?
dental health links to many other conditions.
It's wild that it's
Yes.
not a bipartisan issue that everyone agrees with. We have heard your spiel,
And
Dave.
I
Okay.
always talk about it, okay? I'm obsessed.
You know what Jess thinks of that. She thinks the opposite. Everyone should have their teeth knocked out.
Yeah. Get rid of them.
You're more of a Captain James Plomer type.
Yeah, I'm like, rip it out.
Pull it out.
Whatever.
Give me trouble.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
So
I'm actually terrified of the dentist.
it's not nice, is it? But you should go.
I know.
How long's it been?
A while.
Come on, how long?
Oh, like a year. I missed a 6-month checkup.
Oh, that's not bad.
I know, but
Honestly, I reckon
I didn't
it
go
could,
for 10 years and it was bad.
I reckon it could be once a year.
Yeah. I think
Twice
so.
a year is a bit much.
Yeah. Well, I guess it all depends.
Look at this classic fence sitter.
For the listeners, I just smiled and it dinged.
Yeah. And it blinded us, actually.
Yeah, so just let me find my place here. I'm wandering around the room. And I'm back in my chair. He
He went into that role, didn't he?
Yeah.
We lost Dave for a second.
sold
in
that.
scene.
Yeah.
So, the captain said, I need you to pull out my tooth. He said, okay, look, I think you should sleep on it. We'll see how it is in the morning.
Oh, sleep on it. So the tooth fairy
Like,
comes.
my tooth fairy.
You got to take it out first, though, mate. Sorry.
You can't have your tooth and eat it too.
Okay.
What's wrong with us?
This feels like a delirious episode.
I
It is
know.
hilarious. So he told the captain, look, sleep on it. If it's still giving you trouble in the morning, I'll remove it for you. That night, Demara stayed up all night reading medical textbooks on dentistry. In the morning, he shot Novocaine into Captain Plomer's mouth.
With a gun.
It's all I can find on this ship.
I've only ever seen it written down. It says shoot it into his mouth. How else do you shoot some? Oh,
dear.
syringe. Oh, no.
Too long. Too far gone.
Too long.
Too long.
Too long.
I'm scared of needles. I'd rather a gun. He removed the tooth without issue, so he'd passed the first big test. Because imagine if you fucked up the captain's thing.
Far out. I'm not having a go at dentistry. I'll be honest.
But yeah, he goes out and the family's in the waiting room. I'm sorry, we lost him.
I used a gun.
I shot your dad in the mouth.
Yeah. The good, you want the good news or the bad news? Good news, the tooth's gone. So is the rest of his head. Sorry, I should have said that's the bad news.
That's why he can't wear a hat.
Aha!
We got him.
I got it.
Wait, is this cousin
Denny?
Denny?
Yeah.
You are good.
Yeah. And I'm definitely Jess.
Denny. Don't look into it.
It's a really cute little face.
This is you doing cute? That was really cute.
I said that was you being cute.
Oh, yeah.
There are different standards for everyone. Relative to your norm,
Yeah,
that was cute.
I've got a very low threshold of cuteness.
Look at Dave being cute.
Oh my God. He gets out of bed that way.
While stationed in Korea, he also took the liberty of enrolling Dr. Sire, who's pretending to be, in the General Medical Council of the United Kingdom, allowing him to practice in the UK.
Yep.
It's amazing how
Good.
far he's been able to take this.
Yeah, it's
little
scary.
bit by little bit.
He's now a doctor
Yeah.
treating soldiers.
He's like that guy who traded a paperclip all the way up to a house.
Yeah.
But how could he possibly pose as a doctor for months on board a ship and not get found out? Well, he got a senior medical officer to unwittingly give him a condensed crash course in the basics. He told this officer he'd been asked to put together a rule of thumb guide for people in lumber camps working remotely.
So clever.
Most of them are isolated, they don't have doctors handy, so a little guide of how to diagnose the most common illnesses would be really helpful for them. The officer gleefully spent 2 days putting the guide together and delivered it to Demara, who then memorised it and followed its instructions to a T.
2 days? What is he? Us writing a report?
He just had 2 days. He's in the Korean War at the time.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll just take a couple of days off.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
write
just whip this up.
I've got to write a pamphlet.
Go grab my laptop, sit at the cafe, smash this out. Easy peasy. All right, what else? So what else? Laryngitis. Okay,
Yeah,
here we go.
what are people's diarrhea? Traveller's diarrhea. Okay.
Yeah. How to diagnose it? They're shitting a lot.
Yeah.
How to tell the difference between it and dysentery? Good question. Dave?
Dr. Dave?
Dr.
Oh, well,
Dave?
how long have you been diarrheaing for?
Man?
6 weeks.
That's probably dysentery.
I think you've got dysentery.
That's dysentery.
This could be dietary.
Yeah.
What have you been eating? Mainly a can of not quite sealed spam that I found in a gutter.
Okay.
I've been nibbling on it.
It's my best friend.
One night equals one nibble.
I'm rationing the spam.
What has happened?
This is all included in the pamphlet.
What's happened to us?
A case study. A man comes to you obsessed with
What's
spam.
happening?
So,
We haven't done a... Anyway. We've done a multiple record in a day, and we're getting on.
Wasn't it?
We can't.
We can't do this
We
anymore.
can't do this.
that's right. I'm not 24 anymore.
That is crazy.
We don't have this stamina.
We can't do this.
We can't sit and concentrate.
But we'll schedule it again in like 3 or 4 weeks' time. We'll never fucking learn.
See you there.
I feel like I might throw up or piss myself or die.
Well, the reason
I think you have dysentery.
the reason is we won't remember this. That's why we'll do it again.
Yeah. So he's got this little basic book that he would just sort of, like, you know, people come like you said, laryngitis, whatever. He's like, great on how to
really
diagnose that.
smart. Yes.
He also found a lot of issues sorted themselves out with time. And he would just tell someone, just rest, water and rest.
Oh
He's
my
like-
gosh, sounds like my mum. Go have a lie down.
Yeah.
He's the nurse at the school.
Yeah.
You know, oh yeah, come to you have a bit of quiet time. That
Have a
should
lie
fix
down.
itself right up.
If it doesn't get better, I'll give you a Panadol.
That's all I'm allowed to give you.
Yeah.
We could put some of that red brownie sort of dye on it that makes
Betadine.
it sting.
Oh, that stinging stuff, yeah. I'll just get that out of my bum bag on my waist here, and there you go.
And they know that the kids are going, no, it's okay. don't make it sting worse.
So a lot of the time, it would just work out normally. But when he needed something extra, he just prescribed a shitload of antibiotics and found that also often worked.
He is a GP.
Yeah.
But if it didn't work, he'd maneuver the patient to one of the 6 or 7 other doctors on board and ask for their opinion. And he'd always
Side
just
with the second
listen to their
opinion.
advice. Just do whatever they said.
Yeah,
He'd
so I
go,
was leaning that way, actually.
You're right. Thank you for that second opinion.
Yeah.
Let me just write that down.
Yeah. Do you think I could be a school nurse?
Yeah, I think...
Yeah.
I was about to say I think anyone could, which is really dismissive of a noble profession.
No, but yeah, but
But
like,
I don't even think we had a school nurse. It was at primary school. It was just like an office worker.
Oh yeah, there wasn't one in primary school. There was a sick bay, but a teacher just put you there.
Be like, next to the office.
Yeah.
And a teacher.
And there would be like a little single bed with a colourful doona on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Just
Huh.
lie down there. Just lie down there. I'll call your mum.
In high school, we had bunk beds because sometimes 2 girls would be sick at once.
Whoa.
Pretty crazy.
What do you call the top bunk?
Oh yeah, every time. It's like get off. It's my turn. Fuck off.
Fuck off.
I'm sicker than you.
Fuck off. I'm on the top bunk.
Fuck off.
Don't make me tell Janine.
Annette was her name.
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
He also found that generally just by speaking to him as a doctor, it reassured them and they often just automatically felt better.
That is not my experience with doctors. Just having a chat. Therapist.
Yeah, because they call you a chunky slut.
That's 3 weeks in a row.
I go to the doctor for a new script and they say, on the scales, chunky slut. Let's go.
Now, what was your name again? I've changed it in the system accidentally here. So basically,
Do you
Does this
really
run
want
in-
to change it back?
Oh,
Can't be
kind of.
bothered.
What is it? have we got any sort of problems that are hereditary in the Slut family? Sorry, that's what I've got you down here. Is Chunky, birth name Chunky? Is that right?
Beautiful name.
Beautiful name, boy or girl. But let's be honest, we only use it for the girls here. The boys, they're just growing. They've got a big appetite.
So really, he had the perfect setup. The only thing that could do him in was if someone needed some serious emergency medical attention. He's the only
why
one.
would that happen in a war?
Well, one night, would you believe it? 3 South Koreans, all men, were brought on board with serious conditions that needed immediate treatment.
3 men, 3 doctors. Is that right? Is that what we're saying?
There's other doctors, aren't there? So
You've just said he's the only doctor on board that night or something?
Yeah, he's the only one available that night.
Okay.
where are the others? It's not like they could fucking... They're probably just in their bunks.
Yeah, where are
could
they?
they go?
Wake him up!
Go wake them up.
He tried to say that he couldn't operate in rough sea conditions. He's like, just put it off, just put it off, just put it off. But the boat's chaplain advised him that the men would surely die without intervention. So
And he goes, well, I've got to take... Yeah, I agree with you, chaplain, actually. That's what I was thinking as well.
He always agrees with whoever said. Really, he said, look, they're going to die anyway, so it's best to risk it and hope for the best. The sick bay was too small for surgery, so he commandeered the captain's cabin and ordered men to scrub it from top to bottom in order to try and get it as sterile as possible.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, he thought
Good
of that
start.
at least. Yeah. Get the dead all wipes out.
To quote from Crichton, who wrote the book on this man, he writes, and the blind shall lead the blind, he thought. Oh God, please help me now. I don't want to kill anyone. He took 4 shots of rum to try and quell his nerves.
Perfect. Yes, that's what I want from my
Good idea.
surgeon.
The 3 Korean men were all drugged up on morphine. As Demara picked up and sterilized the scalpel and other instruments, many of which he'd never held in his entire life. And now he's about to do surgery. The pressure was already immense. He'd never felt more like an imposter. And the captain came in and asked what ocean conditions would be best for the operation. He said he didn't know, and the captain replied, I just want you to know this one thing. You're in charge of this ship now.
Probably smooth.
Yeah, what do you mean you don't know?
You don't know. It's not bumpy, but why are they even asking him? Obviously, the
Like-
best conditions are...
Have they put themselves in these bumpy, crazy conditions, but really if they just moved slightly to the left, it would be smooth? Like, what the fuck?
Say a west, you idiot.
What can you do to help? And
There's
if-
like
if
3 gears on the boat. One of them is like
Yeah.
really rough.
He's
and
like-
the other end is smooth as shit. And there's
Yeah.
one in the middle.
Doc, yes or no? Do you want me to turn off the wave machine? Yes or no?
Yes or no, I can do it.
I can do it. I don't know. I'll defer to you.
All the crews on the outside of that time just rowing them in a circle. Like, do you want us to stop the whirlpool motion for a minute? Will that help? Yeah, a little.
Maybe, actually. Yeah, let's try it. Let's try it.
I can't give you the particulars of why, but
That's an absurd question.
he
Hey,
said-
what kind of conditions would make this better? Smooth for everything.
And how would you like your eggs?
Smooth.
While I'm taking a minute off being the captain, I'm on breakfast. So what can I get you?
What can I get? Anything you like. You're in charge of the ship
Bagel?
now.
Eggs? Bit of bacon? You like tomatoes? I'll make you some tomatoes.
You're in charge of the omelette station now.
How do you like your coffee? I'll guess.
So the most injured man was brought in. He had been shot in the chest near his heart, and the bullet was still in there somewhere. So Demara picked up the scalpel and sliced into the man's chest.
I'm going in. Jeez, this is so bad.
This is again from Crichton's
This
book.
is so bad.
To quote from Crichton's book, it was strange and marvellous and exhilarating.
No.
The knife moved easily, sure in his hand.
Ugh.
It was as if he were playing out some part which he'd been already predetermined.
And he was drunk as well. 4 shots.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what he was doing and what he was going to do.
No, he didn't.
His theory was the less cutting he did, the less patching he'd have to do afterwards.
Yeah, great call.
This is pretty graphic. As he sliced through the skin into the muscle, he remembered what he'd read. Expecting the blood at the right time, calling for a sponge when it was about to get bloody, he clamped some blood vessels.
Great memory.
He saw the edge of the rib. He sawed it.
No.
At this point, many people in the room left because it was fucking
I've seen enough,
gruesome.
thanks. Yeah, great. Doing great.
It says here,
No. Do you have to?
well, he saw the heart beating and he said, it makes one believe again in God.
Oh,
How
that's
so?
interesting.
How so?
He got carried away with the surgery.
Oh,
It was all going okay.
he added breasts.
While I was in there, I took a liberty.
I mean, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Oh, okay, but when he saw the bullet lodged only a quarter of an inch away from the man's heart, quarter of an inch.
Oof.
It's like
That's close.
It's
No,
like
half
an
a
inch.
centimetre.
But it's like an inch, but like a quarter of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not even 1 centimetre. Is that what you're saying, Dave?
not even one.
Oof.
He saw the bullet lodge only a quarter of an inch away from the man's heart. The feeling of being an imposter out of his depth returned as he realised suddenly that he didn't have one single idea or intuition even whether to leave the bullet where it was
Then why the fuck are you? What are you cutting it up for?
Yeah.
and rely upon nature to eventually heal the wound or to extract it, in all probability cause a hemorrhage that might kill the man.
But even the fact that he has these thoughts going through his brain makes me think this guy's qualified. Like, the doubts is what, it's like when you're going on stage and you're
Yeah.
I'm feeling really nervous. That just means you care.
That's right.
You ever get that advice early on? Hey, nerves just mean you care, mate.
I also, I don't know how to tell you this, but I actually don't get very nervous before our shows.
That means you don't care.
Yeah.
I know, mate.
Actually, I don't either.
Yeah.
Well, I get nervous enough for the three of us.
Yeah, you're
You
often
do
puking.
not. You do not.
No, I love going out there with you two. It's great. It's so much fun.
I'll take it or leave it.
It also means nothing to me.
It means nothing.
No, I just think
Another
that
day at
I
work.
don't think that's necessarily true. That nerves mean you care thing.
No, I like. Well,
It's a nice way of reframing it, though.
I think it's nice, and it probably is true sort of early on. But yeah, you get used to anything really.
Mm.
Surgeons get used to just seeing a heart beating and
Yes.
cutting through a rib.
And that's what.
Whereas that made me want to vomit.
He's trying to get used to it. So he sees the bullet there. He says it's still bleeding, so he decided to try and remove it. He grabbed it with forceps, and with a bit of purchase on the metal, he was able to grab it and pull it out. But then the bleeding increased.
That makes sense.
He aggressively called for the coagulant gel foam and was reminded that he was already holding it.
Okay.
That's okay.
I want gel foam, you idiot!
Glasses are on your head,
You
mate.
got
Yeah, exactly. We've all done that. That's
Yeah.
okay. If I'm the person assisting him, I'm not immediately like, I think this guy's a fraud.
No.
I'd be like, okay, he's gotten frazzled.
Yeah.
So he told the chaplain to pray harder than he'd ever prayed before, that a hemorrhage wasn't coming, and he gave the chaplain a heart attack. No. Thankfully, the bleeding stopped,
What?
making sure to not leave any sponges or instruments behind.
That's a good call, yeah.
The man was he actively writes that he counted all the things to make sure there was nothing missing, because he's like, I don't want to save this man now and then he get an infection because I've left like some forceps in there somewhere.
That's got to be that'd be the hardest bit, probably, wouldn't it? The sewing
Yeah.
back up of like all these intricate bits and
Yeah.
pieces.
Oh god, I don't know how you do that.
Like he's sewing up muscle, and then is that right? Sewing up
I don't know.
skin and everything else.
I guess you got to do it in order. I don't know.
You'd throw it over to one of the helpers, wouldn't you?
Over the chaplain.
Yeah.
Go on, mate. You've been praying hard. Get in here.
Yeah.
In your bop.
And after 2 hours, it was on to the next man, who had a shrapnel wound in his groin. There are conflicting reports about whether this happened on board the boat or at another juncture, but he was required to amputate a man's leg.
What?
Oh.
He had to remove him. So I've read two
How
accounts.
would he have known?
He
that?
either had to cut this man's leg off, or later on he removed another man's leg.
Yeah, right. And he knew that was the right thing to do.
Yeah,
I
because
feel like this guy's a doctor.
if he
he's
knows,
he's
he
a
knows, he
surgeon.
knows. He's got
Unless-
no surgical training.
Unless
Yeah,
he's
but-
made this up. But why would he make that
Why
up?
would he make
that
Why
up?
would he
Weird.
lie about that? That he needs an amputation.
Yeah. What a strange thing to lie about.
Yeah.
The third man complained about not being able to smoke his cigarette. He was the least injured of them all. And Demara rightfully diagnosed him as having a collapsed lung. To alleviate that, he took a needle and, using only a local anaesthetic so that he could tell by the patient's reaction what effect he was having, he succeeded quite easily in creating a total collapse of the left lung. And then he obviously did the right thing to fix it as well. He had worked all night and looked up to see not only that it was daylight to his surprise, but dozens of faces of sailors pushed to the windows watching what he was doing.
Oh.
All three men survived, and he was heralded as a hero.
What
on board.
year is this?
What the fuck is going on?
The early 1950s.
What were surgeons then? Just like, I feel like he probably, these days there's a lot more stuff going on. But
Is there?
Back then it would have just been like, you read the books, you have a go. It's the 50s.
I think that's what they're doing now.
No, haven't you seen Scrubs? They have to do a whole time of being underlings.
Oh, that's true. I have
Yeah.
seen Scrubs.
And they got to watch out for the janitor.
And that is a medically accurate show.
Yeah. And Dr. Cox will call you a woman's name if you're a boy.
And that's funny.
And a hair colour if you're a girl.
Yeah.
And that puts you in your place.
So after this, he went to his cabin, slept for a whole day, and when he awoke, he felt better than he'd ever had in his entire life.
Yeah.
He'd pulled it off.
That's insane.
He was God.
But all good things must come to an end, including pretending to be a doctor.
Oh, okay. Not those three people didn't see through the night.
No, they made it. So a South Korean military commander demanded to meet this great surgeon that had saved 3 lives. And despite protests from Demara, the commander insisted on drafting a press release about his heroics.
Oh, no.
Which was sent to local media, including newspapers and radio stations.
He was found out by being too good at the job.
Demara knew this could end him, but he had to go along with it, trying to give slightly false info about Dr. Sire and where he's from in Canada to hopefully avoid people putting 2 and 2 together. A week later, the captain called Demara into his office and said he had to ask him about something that he was certain was a mistake. He said, "It's so embarrassing, I'm not even going to read it to you."
Thanks. Great. Let's move on.
Well,
Great lunch. Yeah.
Demara said, "No, read it to me," and the captain received
Why
a cable.
did he do that?
Shut up, idiot. Shut up.
Shut the hell up. It said, "Dr. Joseph Sire is an imposter. Removed from active duty immediately." The commander said he knew it was a lot of rot and that he'd sorted out, and in the meantime, Dr. Sire was allowed to just keep working on the boat.
Right.
It seems that the real Dr. Sire had seen an article written about a doctor with his name, but recognised the photo as being Dr. Cecil B. Harmon, that he'd previously known. He'd met at the monastery.
Yeah.
So he was the real Sire was the one he was going to help out, get onto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He took
He's
his
like, that's the
papers.
guy that I gave the paper. I never heard back from
So
him,
for
actually.
him, he probably was expecting something like this, maybe.
So he reported the imposter to the Navy.
Yeah.
A few days later, Demara was summoned back to Canada, and it all finally caught up with him. He was court-martialed, and an investigation was launched, and he was discharged with disgrace. To quote from Time magazine, attempting to answer
That's worse than dishonourable. I didn't know. Is there like a rankings of, honourable discharge, dishonourable, and then with disgrace? Is it like...
Yeah, I've never come across that term before.
Yeah, I don't think I have either, but I probably...
Is it an official term or they're just saying
So a
it?
dishonourable discharge, or in the Commonwealth, it's called a dismissal with disgrace.
Ah, cool.
It's
Okay.
according to someone
That's so
posting.
funny that we're more familiar with the American one than our own.
Yeah. To quote from Time magazine, which was attempting to answer the question of why he pretended to be a doctor, Commodore Kenneth Adams from the Canadian Navy said, "I'm as curious as everyone else is, but it didn't come within the scope of the inquiry to ask him why. And so far as the Navy is concerned, he is a doctor. No man without medical knowledge could have done what he did in Korea." The commander added to Life magazine, "He was a remarkable personality. He had a warm, sympathetic regard for all the officers and men on the ship and a high perception of human character. As a layman, I cannot judge, but to my knowledge, he performed his duties with considerable skill. The outcome of the whole affair was one of the greatest individual tragedies I've ever encountered."
Oh.
Wow.
So again, people
just-
are like...
People are like, he's a really good guy.
Really defending him.
Really good at his job. Like, I'm shocked by all this, but
Yeah.
he was doing good.
I feel like
Wow.
if those 3 men died, it would be a different story, but it
Totally.
is like, he kind of...
He actually saved 3 guys.
Yeah.
It's what a confusing... So this feels like they're, compared to Abagnale Jr., there is like real strong records of this stuff happening.
Yeah, so this is from like Time magazine and Life at the time, interviews with people like his superior officers. So yeah, we know that at least this bit, he definitely served and did these operations on a
Wow.
Navy, which is the craziest bit of the
Yeah.
whole story.
Yes.
The men of the Cayuga were also on his side and even sent their former shipmate a Christmas card from Korea.
Whoa. They even sent a Christmas card?
You don't do that to people you're mad at.
No. Certainly don't do that to a long list of people that you vaguely remember.
Yeah.
No, so that's so funny. Life magazine also published one of the lines. I read him a little poem,
Okay.
and it includes, "He may be 6 kinds of a liar. He may be 10 kinds of a fool. He may have faults that are dire and seem without reason or rule. But we don't analyze. We just love him because he's our friend."
Okay, they went
That's a
rhyme.
terrible poem.
It's really bad.
And it's just like,
They went rhyme heavy
he's-
for a bit.
He's a lying piece of shit. He's an
Hey.
idiot. He's a freak.
But he's our
He's our freak.
He's our little freak. Come here, give me a little.
Come here.
Come here.
Hey, you
Oh,
little
God,
freak.
I know I love you.
We love you, you
3
little
cheers.
freak.
Cheers for the weirdo. Canadian immigration authorities were not as pleased and escorted Demara to the US border and shooed him across.
Shoot him. Off
Get
you
it.
go. Like the end of Harry and the Hendersons.
They're chasing
when
him with a broom.
John Lithgow's
Yeah.
sending Harry into the
Get
forest.
out of here.
Get out of here.
Don't look back! So, the story was an embarrassment to the Canadian Navy, and which is, I think, why they said the stupid line of, why he did it, that never came up. So they don't want the publicity.
Yeah.
And despite them, I'm sure, preferring to keep it quiet, the story was big news about like a fake surgeon. And like I said, Time magazine picked it up. And Demara was interviewed in a multi-page spread for Life that I quoted from at the start of the episode, where he is known as the Great Imposter,
Whoa.
which is the title of this episode.
That's
Whoa.
good.
Just the great imposter? I like it.
He received
I'm in.
hundreds.
Can't wait to hear the story.
He received hundreds of fan letters and requests for help. This is when he's like hiding out at his parents' house.
Yeah.
So the
He's
start,
getting requests for help.
yeah.
With what?
A
The
19
whole article's about how he's a fake.
But people are like, you just seem like you know what you're doing. So a 19-year-old mother in Detroit asked him to perform a lung operation on her infant daughter, writing, "My husband and I feel you are God sent."
This
No!
this is like you hear things about the American like medical system sometimes, and this feels like the biggest indictment of it all. People are preferring to write to an imposter than maybe is that because they can't
Can't get into a doctor.
get
Yeah.
into a doctor? Bloody hell.
Can't afford a doctor.
A lumber camp in British Columbia offered to hire him as the doctor, quote, "no questions asked,"
Okay.
including, "Are you a doctor?"
Can you do anything that we need you to do?
He enjoyed his fame and notoriety for a time, but according to Tim Holm, who's a lecturer in criminology and criminal justice at Bangor University in Wales, while he enjoyed the prestige he had gained in his imposter roles, he started to dislike life as Demara, the great imposter, gaining weight and developing a drinking problem. So he wasn't really enjoying this.
Oh.
He wasn't enjoying being himself
If
again.
you're not enjoying being yourself, mate, there's options. I hope he does it one last job.
Well, old habits really do die hard, Matthew. And in 1955, despite now being pretty famous in many parts of North America, he acquired the credentials of a man named Ben W. Jones and began working as a guard at Huntsville Prison in Texas.
Ben Jones.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Now we're getting it.
And you're
I know
not having to do
8
any.
Ben Joneses.
And there's no service, no surgeries you're going to have to do.
Exactly.
Probably.
Hopefully.
But I mean, he could.
He probably will.
He probably could.
Yeah.
He was eventually put in charge of the maximum security wing that housed the most dangerous prisoners and was excelling at his job when an educational program that provided prisoners with magazines
Oh.
led to one of the prisoners spotting Demara's article in Life. And there's multiple photos of him.
Grow a beard, mate.
Grow a beard.
You know what I mean? A mustache really changes your look.
Thank
Think
you.
about it.
Thank you for noticing.
I hardly recognised you.
Yeah, I
You
walked
get
in.
when you get a trim, I won't notice.
No.
When you grow a mustache, I see it.
That's
Yeah.
the real you.
I see you for the first time.
Thank you.
Your prisoner showed it to prison officials was like, "Is this Ben Jones?" And despite trying to deny it, Demara was found out. He ran away. Of course he did. But in 1957, he was caught in North Haven, Maine, and served a 6-month prison sentence for the fraud.
Okay.
He was back in jail, but just
In
on the
that
other
jail?
side. Despite this, Obie Ellis, the head of the Texas prison system where Demara had pretended to be a warden, said, "I can't deny it, and I don't see why I should. Ben W. or Demara or whatever it is you call him was one of the best prospects ever to serve in this prison system.
Fuck me dead.
What is this guy Simon the Likeable?
His future was bright, if not almost unlimited.
Whoa.
I say this, if he could only appear again with some legitimate credentials and somehow this past was wiped out, I'd be proud to hire that man again."
This guy is intelligent, charismatic. He picks things up really quickly. If he just stayed himself, he could have had a fantastic career.
He could have been. He could have been
anything.
Sounds like he could have been. Yeah, the doctor, the lawyer, anything that you. Every time he did the job, he could do it.
Yes.
It's just that he never applied himself.
It sounds like
Yeah.
he needed the motivation of being undercover or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like he needed the threat of, I might be found out, so I've got to do this the best I can.
Yeah,
But if it's just him, it's like,
he's like, I could do that.
Yeah.
I don't like being told what to do.
Wow.
After this, a book was released on Demara called The Great Imposter. It was written by Robert Crichton, who spent a year with Demara to research it. The book was a bestseller and was adapted into a successful 1961 movie of the same name with Tony Curtis in the main role, which is pretty cool. Apparently, it was like a loosely based on the idea of someone being an impersonator, but still.
Who's Tony Curtis again? I don't know that
Jamie Lee
name.
Curtis's dad.
That's right. Some Like It Hot.
Yeah, Some Like It Hot. The Amazing Race, Great Race. He's in one of that one.
He loves to race.
He loves to race.
Crichton also released a book the year after about the year that he spent with Demara, like a follow-up book, and apparently they became very close friends.
Oh, that's nice.
And Crichton, when his wife was pregnant, Demara offered to deliver the baby.
No.
Crichton was like, oh, I'll consider it. When he went to his wife, the wife was like, what are you talking about? He's
course.
not a real doctor.
Yeah, I would like to go to an obstetrician.
Yeah, but sorry, that was said no to, but they remained close enough that Demara babysat the baby.
That's fine. That's one thing. You don't have to deliver the baby.
Yes, it was great.
That's insane.
So after the book was a bit of a hit, Demara made several television appearances, including on Take a Good Look, where celebrities had to guess his identity. And then he went on the game show You Bet Your Life, where he was interviewed by host Groucho Marx. It's on YouTube, which I'll link to in the description. He's very confident and he's a funny guy with a deep voice. And Groucho kept being like, how did you steal these identities? And he says, I didn't steal them. I acquired them. And he keeps calling back to that. It's very funny. Groucho asks, have you ever been in jail? And he says, yes, I have been in jail. I spent a year in the Texas State Penitentiary. And Groucho says, well, it's about time that somebody nailed you. What were you in for? And there's a pause and he says, I was in there as deputy warden. And then the crowd go wild. Groucho said, you're certainly the most intelligent and charming and likable crook that I've ever met.
Wow. Thank you.
He then goes on to answer some trivia questions and wins $2,000, saying, I'll use the money to acquire some real good credentials. And then I'll use the rest for my favourite charity, the Feed and Clothe Fred Demara Foundation.
That's classic stuff. That's fun stuff.
He also made a cameo in the 1960 horror film The Hypnotic Eye, where he, of course, played a doctor.
Oh, yeah. The role he was born to play.
He continued to use new aliases, but as a result of his self-generated publicity, it became much harder to accomplish impersonations. Demara's last job was taken under his actual name and identity, working as a religious counselor at Good Samaritan Hospital in Orange County, California. They knew about his past indiscretions, but took him on anyway, and like everyone else, grew to really like and value him.
Wow.
Sadly, all good things must come to an end for real. He died in 1982 at the age of 60. He'd been affected by diabetes and been quite ill in the final years. We're not 100% sure why he did it. He clearly had the intelligence to legitimately do any of the jobs he attempted.
Yeah.
He just didn't want to go through formal training. And when asked why he did it, Demara gave one of the great replies. He said, rascality, pure rascality.
Rascality, I've never heard.
No.
Rascality.
Rascality.
Should that be our band name?
Yes.
Pure rascality.
Oh, that's good.
Was that maybe the band's just Rascality, the first album?
Yeah,
Pure
it's got
rascality.
Yes.
And his legacy lives on. He told his biographer, Robert Crichton, I don't mean to be boasting, but my lurid example has been instrumental in getting colleges and businesses to change their sloppy ways of handling confidential information and records.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it.
In other words, your privacy and your records are safer today because of me.
Or if no one like you ever was around, they wouldn't need to. And there would be way less red tape.
Yeah.
That is the story of the Great Imposter.
Ah. That was a wild ride.
What a wild story, yeah.
It's so interesting that, it's probably the same with Frank Abagnale Jr. It's like if you just applied yourself, you probably could do these things. This guy more so, for sure. But, like, he was very capable, very intelligent, very charismatic. Everybody loved him. He could have done anything with his life. And he did in so many ways.
He could have been somebody.
And he was in so many. He was many people.
He was a lot of people.
Yeah, he got through more careers
many
than
bodies.
anyone.
He was many body people. That's great. What a great story, Dave. Thank you for sharing that.
That's one that I had never heard of. I just came across it in the hat. So if you too know a wild story about someone that we may not have heard of, we'd love to hear about it.
Yes.
Chuck it in the hat and who knows, we might do it soon.
Oh my gosh. What a tale that was, Dave. We've had a quick break. I had a tart or two.
And we all just had a look at Dave's tail. That's what Matt's just talking about then. What a tail.
It's epic.
Yeah, it's fluffy and it's attached to him.
Yeah. I'll let you pat it.
It's wagging. We know he's happy.
See, what I did there, Matt, was there's actually like two words that sound the same.
Okay. Well, I think that's a great time to use that kind of joke for the first time on this show. Misunderstanding a word as another word. I think maybe that's the kind of joke we could use again.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, no,
We could
probably not.
Make it our thing or something?
Nah, that's actually really bad. Let's never do that again.
But it's great to be experimenting with new things 498 weeks in.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how you keep it fresh. In a marriage and in a podcast, you got to keep it fresh. You got to experiment.
Yes, and we do both those. That's what the break just was then. We were sexually experimenting as well.
You got to get weird.
That's why Dave put his tail on. We're in the
you're literally
10 years
wearing-
in fluffy time. Is that like a fairy?
Fairy time. You're wearing your Keep Austin Weird t-shirt today as well. That's appropriate.
And what freak bought this for me?
Me.
Keep also in between the lines is keep the boudoir weird.
Yeah.
Keep the boudoir weird.
Keep the pod weird.
Do we make two go on shirts that say keep the either pod or boudoir weird?
I think one of those makes slightly more sense than the other as merch.
But
Someone suggests they do one keep Matt Stewart weird. But I mean, try and stop me. You know? I'm just a weird guy. That's my DNA.
I don't want to encourage that. I'd be worried about that.
So we're up to everyone's favourite section of the show. I'm still getting over the fact that man read a book and then knew how to treat 3 different war victims and save their lives.
Yeah.
It's just so wild.
Yeah. It's a pretty insane story.
It can't be true. Now that I'm thinking about it a little more, Dave, you've read an April Fool's Day encyclopedia.
Yeah.
The army had to kick him out and sort of release a statement being like, yeah, whoops.
Yeah,
So
look,
and
that was a
there's
whoopsie.
records of that bit. So that bit is the craziest part is the army bit or the Navy bit, and that's the bit that we've got the most records for. So he could have been talking out his ass for other bits.
Yes.
But we have statements from senior officers.
Yeah.
It's so
He
funny.
definitely did perform surgery on a ship.
Which makes me think he certainly did the other stuff too, because that's the wildest thing he did.
And let's not forget my favourite question of the entire story, which is when the ship captain said, "Now, what conditions would be best for surgery?
So funny.
Do you want it really rocky or what do you think?"
Like he's serving a martini.
Yeah.
What do we want? Shaken?
Yeah. How do we like it? Dirty? Extra dirty?
Oh, we like it extra dirty.
There's only one option here.
Yeah, flat. If you could just sort of keep it flat.
I can't think of another example that there's fewer options that's every single person would want the same thing.
Yeah, when would you be like, I'd actually really like on a plane, I'd actually love some turbulence right now, if that's okay.
I get weather generally. I think you will get different answers. Some people like it cold, hot, snowy. But I don't think any surgeon wants anything but perfect boating conditions.
Yeah.
But obviously maybe the captain was thinking some surgeons like a challenge.
Oh, yeah. And this
guy's challenge was he hadn't been to medical school.
They didn't realise he's already working with a pretty good challenge.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the most embarrassing thing for the army would have been he's actually way better than the ones we've trained.
They spent 10 years studying this stuff.
They were devastated to have to let him go. They're like, fuck.
We were going to make you head of surgery.
He's really good.
And we love him.
Yeah, he's so great.
It's only the rules. We're sticklers for rules here, unfortunately.
Damn it. We paint ourselves into the corner.
So anyway, Dave, thank you so much for your report. Should we spend a bit of time now thanking some of the people who support the show?
Oh, that's not a bad idea. How would we do that?
Well, I'll tell you how they can do it, and then we'll move on to how we can do it.
Okay.
They can support the show by going to patreon.com/dogoonpod, and then there's a bunch of different levels, and they can jump on to the one that they like the most in terms of cost versus benefit.
Mm-hmm. Do an analysis on that.
Is that an analysis that I might do?
Analysis?
Analysis. I see an enemy.
and then some of those levels, you get a shout out or whatnot. In this section of the show, in particular, the first one, we talk about some people on the Sydney Scheinberg Deluxe Memorial Edition level. This section actually has a jingle. I can't remember. Maybe it goes something like this.
Fact, quote, or question.
He always remembers the D. She always remembers the C. And the way this works is you get to give us a fact, quote, or question if you're in that. section of the Patreon. You can give us anything you like, really, a brag or whatnot. People sometimes give us a joke. They give us a recipe. They give us whatever. And
They give us a little part of their souls, and we say thank you.
And the first one this week comes from Gary J from UK. Oh, I think did I absolutely nail it that time?
That gave me chills.
Yeah.
Full body chills. Because I was like, Gary?
Yeah.
I looked away for a second, so I didn't see the words coming out of your mouth. Have you just hit play on a little MP3
Yeah, are you
got
doing
over
a
there?
bit? Do it again, because neither of us were looking at you. I can't bear to look at you.
Gary J from UK.
Okay, so yeah, it wasn't him the first time.
Yeah, that's right.
You nearly had us there, Stuart.
Yeah, I don't think that's Gary J's Brummy accent, but that's it's a very specific English accent that is definitely
Oh, you certainly
real
did a
one.
voice.
Yes.
Nobody could ever deny that you
No.
just did a voice.
I really hope no one denies that.
That'd be honestly wild and weird
Yeah.
of them to do that.
I think they should back off.
Yeah.
And Gary's title, everyone gets to give themselves a title, is Crap Crap. Think of something clever or funny. Boobies, open bracket, both clever and funny, close bracket.
Yep. Boobies.
Got it.
Very clever.
Got it in one.
I like how usually you don't see the workings out.
Yeah, it's nice.
Nice to see the process
It is. It's
behind
nice to
the
see
title.
how the sausage is made. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People normally don't want to see that, but because I think it's
Gross.
it's anuses and
What?
ear cartilage or whatever.
What?
Isn't that right? So Gary J's offering us just a quick one. I'm not holding you up that much. I know you're busy people. And Gary J writes, ahoy, ahoy. And that seems to be it.
Oh,
It's a very quick one, Gary J.
lovely.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Thank you very much, Gary. And could I just say, ahoy, ahoy to you.
And ahoy, ahoy. That's so fun. Both his title and his description of what it was going to be were longer than the thing itself. Nice one, Gary. Next one comes from Lum, aka intern of regurgitated reels and QI facts, offering us a fact. Lum writes,
Hopefully regurgitated.
hey, mates. Have you ever felt like the sun in Australia is harsher or more likely to burn you over summer?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. When you go to Europe or something, you're like, this ain't that bad.
And when
Yeah.
people come here, we're like, Jesus Christ, put sunscreen on.
Yeah, just
Even if you don't have to at home.
they're like,
do
it's
it.
26. It's not that bad. You're like, it could be.
Yeah.
If you're out all day.
Yeah, there's a classic look for English backpackers in
Yes.
Australia, and that is bright red.
It's no joke.
Um,
Is Lum going to explain why that is?
yeah, Lum goes on. Maybe in Europe and the Northern Hemisphere, your sunscreen applications are less frequent. You may have heard it's because the ozone has a hole in it, conveniently placed over the largest island nations. I had too. Turns out the hole in the ozone is actually sitting over Antarctica and furthermore has mostly repaired itself. What actually causes the increase in sunscreen sales is that when it's our turn to venture closer to the sun and hit the beach, the Earth's orbital path means the whole planet is physically closer to the sun. This means during our summer, the UV radiation has less time to dissipate before it hits Earth and means Australia feels the sun more harshly. Wow, what a great regurgitated real fact. Thanks, Lum. You're welcome, guys. XOX.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is
I saw
interesting.
a video of that fairly recently explaining that, and I was like, huh. Pretty
I
cool.
hadn't heard that.
Pretty cool. Sort of like the orbit isn't a perfect circle. It's kind of like it's like an oval, a really sort of tight oval. So when it's summer here, we're closer to the sun than summer in the UK.
Interesting. So our winter should then be even safer for UV. Does that mean?
Maybe.
Yeah, because people still get burnt on the slopes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But that's because the reflecting
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
comes
right.
back off the snow.
Basically, if you're ever visiting Australia, don't bother bringing sunscreen with you. Buy it here and put it on every day. And then when you don't and you get really badly burnt, go, well, I should have listened.
Should I put it on? Well, explain this, Lum. Why, when I went to the Bahamas, which is in the Northern Hemisphere, did I feel like that was the hottest sun I've ever felt?
Oh, okay.
For
Wow.
like within seconds, I was like, I'm burning. And then because that's another island nation where they ship everything in. I went to the supermarket. I'll shop with the locals. Go, this would be cheaper. It was still about $30 for a small tube of sunscreen.
Yeah.
They absolutely got me.
Sunscreen isn't cheap
No.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they, especially certain places, they know they've got you right where
Exactly.
they want
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. Yes.
you. Like, what are you going to do? Burn?
Yeah. Oh, no, I'll pay anything.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, you'll pay
Exactly.
anything.
Yeah, we know.
Give me your kid.
Well, I said anything.
And honestly, that was what the sunscreen was from. So we're in a bit of a paradox now. Next one comes from Nick Veterosa, aka reality star to the pod,
Ooh.
with a question. What reality show or game show do you think you would do best on? For me, and we always like question
Yeah.
writers to answer their own questions, so we appreciate that very much, Nick. For me, while I had a brief stint on a kids show version of Survivor called Endurance when I was 14,
Oh, wow.
I lost in the first episode in embarrassing fashion. So I would probably go in a different direction and say my trivia knowledge would be good on Jeopardy. Thank you, Nick.
That
I
is
was-
hard. That would be hard to live down as at the time when you're 14.
Oh,
If
yeah,
an-
it's
I
the
don't know
most
what
brutal
happened,
time.
but if it's an embarrassing thing,
that's a rough
you'd be
age
trying to
get.
like break into the like control room and delete that footage.
Yeah, I prefer
Yeah.
to never have been on this.
Yeah.
Keep my prize money.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get any for coming last? Okay.
Keep it anyway.
Keep it anyway. Yeah, I always, whenever I see clips of Jeopardy, I'm like, I don't know a lot of these answers, but I think maybe it's because it's very American-centric.
I think a lot of them are. And I think it's one of those, like a lot of game shows, when you first watch it, you're like, huh? But then you like get into the pattern of the style of question,
Right.
the kind of thing they're more likely to ask.
Yeah, I've never seen an episode of it. It never airs here, does it? I think there might have been an Australian Jeopardy briefly at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think it never really took off here for some reason. I know it mainly for like, clips you see online of Will Ferrell hosting a
SNL.
spoos.
We love a Will Ferrell spoof.
Okay. It was hosted by Stephen Fry.
The Australian version.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
How did that not work? We got Fry down
That
here.
is bizarre. It had 6 episodes
That sounds like
in
a sure
2024.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And
Okay,
they've
I
also
don't-
tried Wheel of Fortune with Graham Norton hosting the Australian version.
thing. Really?
We
Yeah.
have Australian hosts.
Yeah, and I think that what they end up doing is they film it all in the UK, and there's so
yeah.
many expats in London they
Yeah,
advertise.
that makes sense.
And then they go, we've got Chris here from Sydney. And he's like, hello, I've lived in London for 48 years.
I'm Chris from Sydney.
I saw Bondi once.
I lived in Sydney for 6 months.
Oh, no, back me hand.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely
I
gorgeous.
love Sydney, Australia, where I'm from. There's so many
Yeah,
Australians
there's
in
so
London.
many. So just put a call out there like,
They all sound like Chris. Hello.
well, that does vaguely ring a bell now, the him being...
Vaguely, and it was last year.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
That was a big hit.
6 episodes.
What-
Jesus
what-
Christ.
What's Rob Bruff doing? Where's
Where's Bruffy?
Bruffy?
Where's Grant Denyer?
Where's he's
Where's
hosted them all.
Larry?
I mean, we know where the Deal or No Deal guy
Andrew,
is.
he's busy.
He's busy at the moment. We wish him well. Actually, do we? I don't know.
Probably not. Anyway.
No. Okay.
Oh, I don't really know, but probably not.
Yeah, all right. So what reality game
Oh, yeah.
or show or reality show
Well,
would you...
obviously, I'm fantastic at trivia. I remember everything I've ever learnt. I'm also an incredible cook, so MasterChef's probably up there for sure.
Yeah, I've got to
Bake Off, great baker if it's packet mix. And
I could see you on the Great Race or whatever that's called.
are you serious?
Yeah, I think you'd make great TV.
Oh, I'd make great TV because I would be rolling off the cliff immediately.
Well, you'd just be, I don't know.
The first chance of
Who
like
would you go with? Your dad?
brother.
Brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A practical person.
Yeah, I'd go with the practical person
He
who has
just carry you
skills.
on his shoulders.
Yeah, 100%.
But and
I'd crack the shits and he'd just pick me up.
Get on.
Shut up, dickhead.
I think that would be awesome. Yeah, that's what I'd pitch.
I'd go with my husband. We'd get lost immediately.
Yeah.
Both of you would...
It would cut to us in a bar.
I'd love to watch both of you on that show. Gosh, if any producers are listening, next season...
No way. Oh, yeah, because he could eat the gross stuff. You always have to eat
Yeah,
something
yeah.
disgusting, and I wouldn't do that.
Is it? Yeah, you two aren't the classic opposites attract, are you?
We are in some ways, but he wouldn't roll off a cliff immediately,
Yeah,
but it would
yeah,
be
yeah.
pretty soon.
He'd go down trying to save you.
I reckon realistically, the only one I could do, and still not well, would be Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'd love to learn to dance.
Yes. You're a flexible person. You got rhythm. You got skills.
But
It's all about the legs dancing.
Yeah.
A lot of dancing is below the waist.
Agreed.
So many sports are above the shoulders.
Yeah.
But dancing, that's all below the waist.
Yeah.
Turn off above the shoulders.
Yeah, you want to just go with it. Let your legs go.
It's easy for me to do that.
Yeah.
What about a TV show called So You Think You Can River Dance?
Okay.
Yeah, that's truly all below the waist.
12 celebrities, all competing to become the next Michael Flatley.
I'd love a chance to learn.
Dave, you'd be Pointless, right?
Oh, yes. I love Pointless.
You love Pointless.
I also, it's my two favourites are probably Pointless, and growing up, I loved The Price is Right.
Oh, yeah.
So much fun.
And
Yeah, I love that mini golf hole.
Yes.
I'm like, it's just a straight putt.
It's just a straight
for
putt.
a car or whatever.
I could make that.
I could make that.
That guy that's yodeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nave said Pointless. I loved that. I love the show. I don't necessarily would be, especially in the English version, because they're always like,
yes.
Name any station on this line in the tube. And you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, or name a player in the 1979
Yeah, that's right.
Manchester United runner-up team. I don't know, Gary John.
And then you name one, and they're
Is there
like,
a Gary or a John?
Gary John.
Yeah, Gary John. 98 people named them. Who
Yeah.
else you got? Oh crap. But yes, definitely. How about you?
I don't know.
You'd be great on something like The Amazing Race as well, because it would just, everybody's running and it keeps cutting back to you still asleep.
Yeah.
And yet you still somehow win.
Yeah,
I think that show does look like a lot of fun to me. I'd love to do that show for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, there'd be a lot of nap time.
yeah.
Well, the best one for nap time is obviously Big Brother.
Oh, yeah.
There's a bed there. Like, they're trying to wake
I don't
you
mind
up.
around, sitting around chatting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be great on Big Brother.
Yeah,
There's usually a pool.
yeah, sick.
You sit by the pool.
Sit by the pool.
Oh, that'd be so nice.
People are trying to bitch or whatever. You're like, who cares? We're in the pool.
Yeah.
Shut up.
That's why I'll never get cast on it.
You're too relaxed. Shut up. The pool's here. And they're bringing us food. I haven't cooked in weeks.
This is great.
I haven't
This
done
is
it.
rent-free.
Yeah, I'm not cleaning a toilet. This is awesome.
This is the best. And then all of the, Matt, please come to the diary room. Matt, here's a bucket and mop. You got to go clean. Fuck. You are good, big brother. You are very good.
He's here. Drain the pool. Drain the pool. Matt's been in the pool for 12 hours.
He's been sleeping in the pool. I wake up and all my Lilo's just on the bottom of the pool. What?
I think you have very good trivia knowledge as well.
Yeah, I'd be happy to be Dave +1 on Pointless.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that'd be Pointless, the podcast host edition.
Yeah.
It's us versus Mason and Cass.
Pointless, the, what, X list celebrity edition.
Yeah. That's
Do you reckon
kind.
we make the X
That's
list?
kind, yeah.
There's a wine is it after it.
Yeah, I know. He's being generous. He's
I
really...
bumped us up
Yeah,
a
he's
couple.
bumped
Well, I
us up
thought
a
if
little.
Meso's on.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
Meso brings us all up.
Yeah, brings us up to an X.
Abby Chatfield's pulled out, so they called you and me up.
Every single reality show stresses me the fuck out. MasterChef, Bake Off. Even Bake Off has like a nice kind of gentle theme to it, but I'm still like, too stressful.
It does ramp up.
Yeah. There's a time limit, and then there's people judging your work.
And you have to know what you're doing, and I don't.
Yeah.
But then Claire Hooper comes past and says, "Oh, how you going?" You're like, what a great time."
See, but then I could just catch up with Claire Hooper.
Yeah.
You know, if that's the part of the show that I'm enjoying, I could just see Claire Hooper and
I think
and experience a nice conversation with her.
So much of what Claire and Mel do or on the show though is just like they go over to someone's stress. Hey, how can I help or something?
Yeah. I could host it.
You could take over for Claire.
Yeah.
She's now hosting her game show.
Oh, yeah.
on NBC. So there you go.
No, but then it would be me and Mel, and we're both brunette, and the audience would just be like,
it'd be
who
very
the
confusing.
fuck is this?
Yeah, you'll have to dye hair blonde.
Which capital city suburban bogan is this?
You have to have a blonde or it just makes no sense.
Final pitch. What about Ready, Steady, Cook? because you're paired with a chef. You just have to supply the ingredients, which I'm sure a producer tells you what to bring in. And then you just have to...
just chop some veggies.
You chop some vegetables while like menu or whatever. Like
That's
put
pretty
stuff-
good.
Yeah,
I could do that.
And Colin Lane hosts it, doesn't he?
Yeah, I could do that.
Fun.
Yeah. What about surprise chef with Aristos?
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
You don't have to do anything at all then, do you?
You just have to be
You have to be
surprised.
surprised. Are you surprisable?
Nah.
I thought you might have flinched more at Suburban Bogan, but you did not.
No,
That's about right.
I know what I am.
Hey, look, like knows like. Thank you so much to Nick, Lum, and Gary. Man, that was fun to dream about being on game shows.
It's a great
Game
question.
shows.
It's a great because there's
Yeah.
so many possible answers.
Great question and well asked.
Agreed. Yeah.
Thank you.
And the next thing we need to do, Bopper, is thank a few of our other great supporters who are on the shout-out level or above. I believe the shout-out level might be the arse prod level, which, funny looking back, that was named after Dave's current day job when we started the Patreon. He's still an ass, but he's no longer prodding.
Oh, no. Sorry.
Jess, you know we come up with a game based on the topic?
Yeah, I'm going to come up with, I've found a job/occupation generator, and I'm going to give them a job that
They're faking.
They're faking. They are not qualified for
Right,
this job.
faking it till they're making it.
Love
All right, Dave, do you want to do the names or the places?
I'm happy to do the places.
Okay, great.
All right, from Collinsvale in Tasmania. Hello, and thank you too.
Matt, surname F, I believe, based on the email address. Not trying to dox anyone here.
Who is impersonating a police officer,
Oh, yeah.
which is a crime.
That's a bad
crime.
one.
That's a bad one.
Well,
It's a good one for this,
Oh, yeah, for
but
sure.
it's
But you
a
don't want to
bad
get
one.
busted to do it.
IRL.
I think
yes.
it is bad, but worse than surgeon.
No. Yeah, good
Yeah,
point.
you're right.
But a police officer doesn't have a gun.
Yes. But, you know,
You don't have to use
sometimes the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a guy pretending to be a good guy with a gun.
it. Yeah, as the saying goes.
That's obviously working on the assumption the cop is a good guy. Looking at this next one, Dave, it looks like the address is not using the classic alphabet. How are you going to go with this one?
The classic alphabet.
I don't know, what's our alphabet called?
The English alphabet.
Is it called the English alphabet? I wasn't sure. I thought it might have been like, because our numbers
Yeah.
are Arabic, right? Is that right?
Yeah, it looks like these words are Arabic.
Okay.
Because this is from I believe Saudi Arabia, and then the city and the state are written in Arabic. Big thank you to.
Sorry, I was looking up because I'm sure the English alphabet's called something else. Anyway, big shout out to S. Urur Ali.
Who is impersonating an architect.
Oh no!
Yeah.
That
And
there's
unfortunately, the plans have been approved.
okay.
So-
There are checks and balances afterwards. Like they do have the civic engineers and stuff. Don't
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
check
yeah.
it out, don't they?
I hope so.
Is that what the civic engineers do?
I don't know. I don't fully know what engineers do.
Well,
make stuff
commonly
work.
referred to as the Latin alphabet or the Roman alphabet. So maybe before you like.
Is it also commonly referred to as the English alphabet?
Well, also. No, it's most commonly referred to.
Well, because it's used, like, it's the same letters and stuff for Spanish, Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they also have extra letters.
Those lucky bastards. Give us
Yeah.
some.
Can we have some
Where
extra?
are ours? What extra letters does Spanish have?
They've got the double J, A.
Oh, that's it. And German's got that big S or the double S, like which looks like an F or something, doesn't it? Strauss. Like their street names are something Strausser.
Oh, yeah.
Dave, am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just think we should. Well, I think that maybe that's something we'll work on off pod, but we should really come up with a new letter to add to our alphabet. I think it's unfair.
Agreed.
I think Trump, if we got him onto it, that's the kind of thing that he would fully back, I reckon. Let's get an American
We
letter
don't
in
have
there.
enough letters.
It's unfair. The Spanish have an extra letter. Okay. It's a fantastic letter. It's a great letter. It's harder than it looks at that. So many people do it well that I thought I would be able to do it. I'm like, oh.
Honestly, I think the only thing, it was too deep.
There we go.
I think his voice is higher. And it's nasally.
Fantastic letter.
Better. Yeah.
We got a lot of brilliant letters out there.
It's okay. Not everyone can do it.
I'll work on it.
Practice on it. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe in the next few weeks. I'll
Yeah,
bring
try
it back.
bring it back next week.
Yeah, maybe for the live 500th
Yeah.
that we recorded a couple of
Will
weeks
you
ago.
do it fully in character?
Maybe I will. I'll have a go at it.
He came out in costume. It was weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
it
did
really
not agree to
killed
it.
the
ahead of
vibe.
time. All right, who's next?
I would like to thank from a location that is unknown to us, so I can only assume they're deep within the Fortress of the Moles. I'm not how many letters in their alphabet.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much and welcome, Luke B.
Who's impersonating a camera operator?
Oh, he'd be sweating.
Yeah.
Like it's an important shoot.
Yeah.
It's like, we only get one shot at this.
Yeah.
It's a live for the news, It's like,
They're going live and he's pointing the camera at his own
I
face.
mean, the news is just locked off.
yeah, but he doesn't know which button.
Okay, yeah.
It's out of focus. Is it recording? What's going on?
What's happening?
He's got YouTube open, watching a tutorial.
That's every time I edit a video for Who Knew It, I'm watching the exact same
Same one.
YouTube tutorials about how to do a 3-camera switch and then one about changing it to a vertical and then one centering
Every time I've got to go to a wedding, I'm watching the same guy tell me how to tie a tie, and I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. And there's
Good to see
actually
you again, my friend.
there's a beautiful comment on there where it's like, because it's like about 10 years old or something, this video, probably even older, and someone commented like, the first time I watched this video was many years ago when I was going to my friend's wedding, and now I've come back here on the day of my own wedding.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful moment.
That's nice. Was that you that commented that?
No, I wore a bow tie.
I wore a bow tie. It was great being here on my friend's wedding.
I'm so sorry. It's very bad. I'm really
That's
sorry.
the worst I've ever heard.
Yeah. Yeah. Me
I've
too.
never heard anyone do it badly
No.
before. It just feels like everyone can do it instantly.
Yeah,
but
you just can't.
I can't.
But it won't stop you trying. That's admirable in a
I
way.
can't do it. No matter how much I try.
I'm a little goblin.
I'm a little goblin. Yeah, he does get into that a little bit. Am I getting any closer?
You can't have my gold. That's for my family.
I find my daughter very attractive.
Is that one of his?
Probably.
I love people, they return to this podcast to be reminded of that man.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
AJ, he'll edit it out. Probably that last bit especially.
There's no chance. I'd like to thank from Wishaw in Great Britain. Thank you to
PGM cast.
PGM Cast is now a company director.
Oh.
Again, feels like a pretty high stakes kind of. You can fuck some stuff up.
I think, Bob, that I'm a company director.
Oh, that's right. What the hell?
So this could be about me. I think that's the least dangerous one. It really depends on what the company is.
Are we we're company
Yeah.
directors of this as well. You're a double company director.
Is this? I don't think this is a company.
Oh, right.
He really had to get us on that technicality, didn't
Yeah, he wanted to bring us down. Hey, you guys
He's like,
aren't directors.
no,
it's
you guys
me."
don't know what it's like to be a company director like
I'm
me.
sorry to you. I'm sorry to
Oh
you.
my God, it's just horrific.
I'm really sorry. I love a tariff.
Oh,
I love a tariff.
Dave, please just move on. It's
Oh, from
making me feel sick.
They'll pay. I'll make them all pay.
from Houston, Texas. Thank you so much.
Basically, I'm doing the lips, right?
No. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I will make them pay.
Yeah, but you have the least accessible lips of anyone I know.
Yeah. Don't pull the mustache back to show us your lips. Just read
Pull
the
back
name.
and reveal.
Just read the name.
The least accessible lips.
And it kills me.
There's no roads to get there. It's like
I've thought of everything.
There's an airport nearby, but it's a 3-day trek. Or you're inaccessible, like the music's hard to listen to.
Yeah,
It's not very poppy.
no.
Those lips.
No.
But once you get into them,
Once you figure it out.
yeah, then you'll
Oh
be a
my
fan
God.
There's no looking back.
From Houston, was it?
From Houston, Texas.
Ethan Mace.
Imposter Barber.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Paddington 2 style.
Yeah, that's really dangerous.
think- 'cause I
Especially
think-
if it's Dave's wedding day. We should imagine all of these Dave's having to deal with him on his wedding day. This is the
That's
worst so
good.
far.
That's good.
Have I told you about the guy on, I can't remember if I told you on pod recently about a guy who was cutting with 2 scissors at once, and he
Oh,
goes,
wow.
Ever seen a man do this? Like he was Edward Scissorhands on my head, and I was like, no, I think it's dangerous. And he was doing the thing where between cuts, 1 on my head, 2 in the air,
Yes.
1 on my head, 2, like
My first ever barber.
really scary stuff.
In my rabbit, he did that. But only with 1 pair of scissors, to be
But
honest.
2 at once, ever seen a man do this?
And he also didn't brag about it. He just did it. It was just like his old training or
So I
whatever.
really feel like that guy was unqualified. He was just riffing it.
That guy was unqualified. I'm qualified. I'm the most qualified.
He had no qualifications.
He had no
Just
Yeah.
instantly got-
He had no qualifications.
just
Yeah.
in the face as well.
I feel like I might sound more like Regis Philbin.
Yeah. I think you
And
do.
Even though I
That's
did,
an insult
did not,
to Regis.
and I did not land his surname there. I
No,
don't think.
no.
Fieldman?
Next, Dave. Oh, I got a great one.
I didn't think Regis had a last name. From a location unknown to us, probably hanging out with Luke B in the Fortress. Who is it?
It's Ethan Lee.
Ethan Lee, imposter, coroner.
Oh. Yeah, there's a contusion.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
heart attack. You just say heart attack every time, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's a blunt force trauma to the head. Looks like bruising around the
You'd
abdomen.
say
Breathing.
like,
Got a bit of breathing.
Proving? Did I say
oh, yeah, natural causes, and people are like, this man's decapitated.
Yep, naturally.
Yeah, natural. Sometimes that happens.
It happens.
Sometimes that happens.
Sometimes,
If it's humid.
sometimes that happens. It's a huge mistake. We made a huge mistake.
He would never say that.
They
They made a huge mistake.
There we go.
They made a huge mistake.
I've got a really good job coming up.
Okay, well, I've got a really good location that's unknown to us.
Oh,
we
I've
don't
got
know
a
where
really
they're
great
from.
name. This is, I mean, all the names have been great, but this is one of the best I've seen in a long time. Where are they from, Dave?
From location unknown.
Henrik Jube.
Ooh, that is good.
That's such a great name.
And
Henrik Jube.
they are a leaflet distributor.
Oh,
Imposter.
you can't
An
fake that.
imposter. I know. That's dangerous.
I'm out the front yelling, "Where's your qualification? Show me your paper. Show me your paper." And then they hand
So
me
they're not the
hand me
printers,
paper.
they're the ones who are,
Distributing it.
they're putting them in the hopper, aren't they? They're just chucking them all in the skip.
Yeah.
100%.
In the, what's the more normal word for a big bin?
Trash.
Trash. What's
Trash
the American
compactor?
word? Trash compactor.
A dumpster.
Dumpster. Yeah, dumpster.
Beautiful. I would like to thank now from Canberra in the Australian Capital Territory. It is. It's a great name.
Holy shit. Jaunty whipstick.
Oh, well,
Holy shit.
I think you should say Dr. Jaunty because
Oh
they
my
are an
goodness.
imposter dentist.
That's great.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to take them out.
Yeah, let's take that one out.
All of them.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, wow. You just look at anyone's mouth and say, "You're not brushing enough, mate."
Yeah, flossing.
Yeah.
Yeah, flossing
You sure you're
enough.
flossing? I don't think so.
I can tell you do brush, but let's be honest, you flush.
Do you flush?
Yeah. Do you flush?
Do you flush?
Do you flush? Because if you don't, it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, if
Always
it's
flush.
yellow,
I understand that, but this-
maybe let it mellow. But water restrictions aren't really in effect, particularly at the moment.
In the drought, yeah, we had to think about
Yeah.
that, but not so much now.
No.
Yeah,
Come
flush
on.
it down. Come on.
Come on, flush,
Flush
it down.
that piss.
Flush that piss.
Flush the piss. Flush the turds.
It's getting better.
Is it? Or are we just getting used to it?
Yeah, maybe.
and forgetting what the real person sounds like.
I like it. This is, the Rolling Stones were trying to do American blues, and they made up a whole new genre.
Yeah.
Sort of. That's what I'm doing. So I've just created this great new character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flannelled
Flannel.
Dump.
Flannel dump.
Beautiful name. And finally,
I'm
from
Flannel Dump. I'm running for Prime Minister of Australia for some reason.
York in South Carolina.
It's
Perfect time for a sip.
Alison Haig.
Alison Haig, an imposter estate agent.
Oh,
selling
no.
houses that are not for sale.
I think they're gone. Do you want to come in and have a look?
I'll take a deposit and then it's all yours.
This is a
This
bedroom, I
is
think.
This is becoming very different to what our man did, though. He was trying to do it genuinely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Alison Haig is doing this for just purely for criminal reasons.
There was a period of time where anytime friends moved into a new house, like a share house or anything, and we'd like they'd have a house or something. My friend Mitch, it would never be his house, but he'd take me on tour.
That's fun.
Like an estate agent doing it.
It's really fun.
Very funny.
Always had a clipboard ready.
Oh, and just the things he would point out. Fun stuff.
That's why he ended up on TV.
That's right. Unfortunately.
If that is that Mitch.
Was he on Selling Houses?
He was on Selling Houses. It was that Mitch who now writes and presents fantastic television.
He was on Location.
Yeah. House Hunters, Australia.
Well, that's everyone. Alison, Jaunty, Hendrik, Ethan, and Ethan too. Ethan's, what a day. PGM, Luke, S. Euro, and Matt. Thank you so much, one and all. The last thing we need to do is welcome a few people into the Triptych Club. Let me see. Are there any inductees this week? It does seem to be.
Oh, wow. I love that.
2.
Now, this is our...
We're dropping a deuce.
This is our Theatre of the Mind, our Hall of Fame, our clubhouse where we welcome people that have been on the shout-out level or above for 3 consecutive years. They've already had a little shout-out. They've had a little something assigned to them like we just did with the imposter jobs. But now to welcome them forever and enshrine them on the
I'm an
wall.
imposter in the White House.
We welcome them in, and they come on in. There's music, there's food, there's beverages, there's hockey, there's ice hockey, there's regular hockey, there's tabletop hockey. Honestly, there's
Tabletop
so much
hockey.
hockey. What do you call that one?
Tabletop hockey. Yeah, you
Yeah,
nailed
great.
it.
Tabletop hockey.
I think is it table
Tabletop
hockey?
hockey.
Air hockey.
Air hockey, but there's also dry hockey.
Yes. Yeah, all 4 elements. We got heart hockey, actually. All
Yeah, we've got
5.
it all.
All of the Captain Planets.
So yeah, we like to shout these people out. But Jess,
Before you go on, I do want to say to half our audience who are Trump supporters, this is a loving homage, what I'm doing.
yeah, that's right. We're just reminding them about who they voted for. And Jess always
I'm doing a great job.
does books. Well, doesn't book. She gets some catering in.
Yeah.
You booked the drinks, don't you?
But this week I thought, well, there's no point getting the caterers. I'll do it.
Oh, imposter caterer.
I'm the imposter chef.
That's great. Are you going to wear a little outfit?
Arrest us, imposter chef.
Why the fuck else would I do it?
Yeah.
Like when you're thinking about a new job, you must think about the outfit.
Yeah, dress for the job you want.
So I'm in the checkered pants, but I've cut them into mini shorts.
The double-breasted white.
Yeah.
thing.
But I've left it quite open.
Oh, yeah, down.
I've gone slutty.
Yeah.
It's like a Halloween costume.
You've left it open, nothing
when you're sort of
underneath.
like, I'm a chef, but I'm like a sexy
Sexy
chef.
chef. Name a job. I'll do it sexy.
And then I'm in like high heel boots.
Sexy chef? I don't think I've
Sexy
seen that
chef.
done before.
Well, you have now.
Obviously, apart from Gordon Ramsay.
Oh my god, that's a sexy chef.
So you
That
order
man
whatever
wakes
you
up
want.
a sexy chef.
Order whatever you want. I got you.
He goes to bed sexy as well.
We're nearly done, everyone. I always book a band.
We're sorry about this.
I always book a band.
Yes.
4 more years.
You're never going to believe it. You're never going to believe who I
What?
booked.
Have you
Mr.
looked?
President.
It is, I couldn't believe it. Obviously, I chose this topic, but I booked these bands years in advance because this is a band that's been around for decades, and I finally got them in. This week, we've got The Pretenders.
Whoa!
Oh,
Oh, that's
don't
good.
tell
Dave, I get that.
me
That's funny.
That's good stuff. Also known as Pretenders.
I reckon I bumped into her once at the corner. I'm pretty sure it was her.
Chrissy Hynde.
Chrissy Hynde, yeah.
Wow.
Was she performing in any way or just in the crowd?
She's in the crowd.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you remember the gig?
What was the gig? It was an international band. I can't quite remember. Might have been James Blake, maybe? I can't remember.
Well, he's a kind of cool guy that would attract,
Yeah.
musos to his shows if they're in town, I reckon. Yeah.
Yeah, so good. Did they just get inducted into the Hall of Fame?
They are in the Hall of Fame, but in 2005.
Yeah, they just did. It seems like
Just
yesterday.
recently. Yeah. Just the other day.
20 years
20 years ago.
If you saw Chrissy say congratulations on the recent news.
I don't know who was I thinking of. It doesn't matter. All right, so we got 2 inductees this week. I'm on the door. I got the clipboard. I'm mitching it up. But I'm no imposter. I'm actually the doorman for the Triptych Club. And I'm about to read out 2 names. When you hear your name, run on in. Every other inductee's already in, which is pushing it. Looks like it's 800 odd people. And once you're in, you can never leave, even if you want to. But why would you want
You don't
to?
need
It's
to.
about the size of the corner currently. It's good.
Yeah, that's right. But we've got more space than that.
That's right.
You're pretty rammed in at a sold-out corner show. But, So Dave's emceeing the night. He'll hype you up as you enter with a bit of weakish wordplay on your name. Maybe he'll do it with his great Donald Trump impersonation tonight because that always goes down well. And then Jess hypes up Dave. 2 inductees. You ready for this, Dave?
Absolutely.
All right, first up from East Providence in Rhode Island, United States. Please welcome in Trevor Ponte.
More like for Trevor Ponte.
Woo! Forever.
You're in forever.
Yeah.
Trevor's in forever.
Okay, yep. Needed a little bit more for that to make sense. And from Lincoln in Lynn, in Great Britain, please welcome in Hannah G.
Hannah G, run through that banner, G.
Yeah. Woo!
And then I put up a
banner.
footy style banner that's just going to run through.
Is that unique to it? Do they do banners in the UK?
I'm sure for other occasions.
Yeah. Feels like it's a quaint AFL thing.
Or
I don't
like
think
running
NRL
through
does it.
the tape at a marathon type thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but it's just a really big tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thick tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the size of a wall.
No, I think it
and
makes
you run
complete
through it.
sense.
Like the 90s and 80s AFL ones that had so much tape on them that it was hard to run through them. They used to have to like really smash through them. There's footage of people struggling to get through them.
I want to see that so badly.
Thank you so much, Hannah and Trevor. 2 fantastic names. Welcome into the club. Make yourselves at home.
Enjoy the music of Pretenders, recent Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees.
Yes. Feels like it was only yesterday. It was a couple more days than that.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to the end of the episode. Anything we need to tell people before we go?
That we love them.
Love them.
We love them. That if you would like to support the show.
Support it.
Remember when we started recording this Patreon section and we said, we'll keep this quick. If you want to support the show, you can do so.
It's not in our nature.
Patreon.com/DoGoOnPod. You can find us at DoGoOnPod.com, DoGoOnPod on social media, DoGoOnPodcast on TikTok. And if you want to suggest a topic,
Like and subscribe.
if you want to suggest a topic, there's a link in the show notes. And you can do that. Anybody can do that. So please do. That's how we get...
It'll be huge. It'll be great. It'll be fantastic.
90% of it. You are getting better. 90% of our topics come from you, the listener. But that's about it. Dave, boot this baby home.
Hey, we'll be back next week with another episode, 499. But until then, I'll say thank you so much for listening and goodbye.
Laters. It's really fun to do.
This podcast is brought to you by Aura. Imagine waking up to find your bank account drained, bills for loans you never took out, a warrant for your arrest, all because someone stole your identity. Hackers aren't waiting. Why are you? That's why we're thrilled to partner with Aura. Your personal data is a goldmine for hackers, and Aura helps lock it down. Aura monitors the dark web, blocks data brokers from selling your information, includes a VPN for private browsing, and a password manager to secure your accounts before criminals break in. For a limited time, Aura is offering our listeners a 14-day free trial plus a dark web scan to check if your personal information has been leaked, all for free at aura.com/safety. That's aura.com/safety to sign up and start protecting yourself and your loved ones. That's aura.com/safety. Terms apply. Check the site for details.
Don't forget to sign up to our tour mailing list so we know where in the world you are and we can come and tell you when we're coming there.
Wherever we go, we always hear 6 months later, oh, you should come to Manchester. We were just in Manchester.
We were just there, but this way you'll never miss out. And don't forget to sign up, go to our Instagram, click our link tree. Very, very easy.
It means we know to come to you, and you'll also know that we're coming to you.
Yeah, we'll come to you, you come to us. Very good.
And we give you a spam-free guarantee.